And a very pleasant good evening, everyone, and welcome to Earl D. Campbell Stadium, Tom Hodge Field on the campus of Seneca High School. The Cassville Wildcats on the road, week number 4 here in Big 8 Conference play as they travel to Seneca to battle the Indians. Cassville and Seneca both coming off wins in week number 3. The Wildcats winning the Berry County Brawl 21-14 over the Monette Cubs last week in Cassville, and Seneca was on the road last week at Nevada. They made the long trip up north and defeated the Nevada Tigers 39-18. Cassville comes in 3-0. Seneca 2-1. They dropped that season opener, had a 20-0 lead over Springfield Catholic before the Irish rallied in the second half and stunned Seneca here on this field, 41-26. But the Indians have bounced back with 2 road wins over Reed Spring and Nevada, and they've held their opponents to 3 touchdowns or less, and they've been scoring 30 to 35 points a ball game. They've got several players back from the skill positions from last year's team. They have to adjust with some new linemen and a quarterback, but a formidable foe here in Seneca, as always. And we're looking forward to tonight's Big 8 Conference matchup. Sammy Clapper along with Jeremy Marple. Todd Speakman running the camera for us, as always, on CassvilleWebTV.com. We've got a pretty decent evening going on right now. The rain is looking like it's going to hold off. There was rain down here this morning, continued into the early afternoon. It's got things a little damp, and it's softened the field up a little bit, but the shower activity appears to be going to stay away, and we'll keep our fingers crossed and hope that it does, that we can get through the evening without any more moisture. And then they are expecting rain again tomorrow and Saturday throughout the 4-state region. But right now it's a nice, cool, comfortable evening. Third time in the last 4 weeks, the first 4 weeks of the season, that we've had comfortable conditions for spectators to enjoy. And we've got a little breeze tonight. We'll see if that picks up any as we go through the evening. Well, Jeremy, you and I have been doing this for a long time, and you were part of this rivalry back in your playing days. Always a great atmosphere here at Seneca. The stands are right on top of the field. The fans seem like they get to take part right in the action sometimes. They line both end zones, so players that run through the end zone may be running right into the crowd. It's a very unique high school atmosphere and a tough place to come play.
It really is, and there's been some games. When you mentioned my playing days, when it wasn't real friendly coming down here, and the scoreboard wasn't real friendly either. But there were times when we came down here and got a victory or two as well. So you're right, a unique atmosphere for high school football. No track around this field, so that allows the stands to be that much closer. I mean, just right behind the players. So it's a unique place to play, and it can be a difficult place to play as well.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of different cycles run over the years. We've seen years where Seneca's been almost unbeatable here on this field. And then with this Cassville-Seneca back and forth, there was a stretch there for a while where the road team was winning every game in that series there for 3 or 4 seasons. So craziness always happens, but it's always a good football game when the Wildcats and the Indians get together.
Oh, certainly. Wildcats experienced a very physical football game a week ago tonight. Expect another one here tonight, and usually is when the Seneca Indians and Wildcats meet up.
Just one of our 3 broadcasts here tonight. Lamar is at Monette in another Big 8 West matchup. That game over on our sister station, KKBL, and then Rogersville at Aurora in a Big 8 East matchup on AM 940 this evening. Other games around the Big 8, Nevada at East Newton, Hollister at McDonald County, Springfield Catholic at Marshfield, and Mount Vernon at Reed Spring. And those last 2 games I mentioned will be interesting games in the Big 8 East. Mount Vernon, the only unbeaten left in the Big 8 East, but Springfield Catholic at Marshfield, Mount Vernon on the road at Reed Spring, a team that they've had some great battles with here in the last 3 seasons. Those will be 2 scores to watch on the other side of the Big 8.
Yeah, that Mount Vernon Reed Spring game, they've played a lot in the last 3 years when you include the playoffs. They're very familiar with each other. Going to be an interesting game. It'll be fun to see, keep up with that score on that one tonight.
A lot of people on the Big 8 West side will be watching the game we're at, as well as that Lamar-Monette game, because Lamar and Cassville both still unbeaten in the Big 8 West. Monette and Seneca both playing well here as of late. The Cubs 1-2, Seneca 2-1. So a lot of implications on the west side with those 2 matchups tonight.
Yeah, certainly this one here, obviously, and Monette, what we saw out of that football team last Friday, very physical. They have athletes out there. I expect that one to be real interesting there in Monette tonight.
Tonight's broadcast brought to you in part by Tomlin's Jewelry and Gifts. You can order your art-carved and gold lance class rings at affordable prices at Tomlin's Jewelry and Gifts on the northeast corner of the square in Cassville. Also on the square in Cassville, it's Sports World. If you're needing screen printing or embroidery done, maybe you're looking for some school athletic clothing, Check out Sports World, 709 Main Street on the Square. You can always give them a call, 417-847-5366. That's 847-5366. We're going to take a quick break here and then be back with more of tonight's pregame. Cassville on the road at Seneca. Big 8 Conference football here on the Talon Network. Seneca, the Wildcats on the road tonight taking on the Seneca Indians. We were talking about the Big 8 Conference. Well, this also has some district implications as well. Class 3 district play. This is a district opponent, so a big win last week over Monette, a district opponent, now that Monette's back in Class 3 this year. Same thing goes for this game tonight when you start looking at district standings. And it seems crazy that we have to start looking at it already, but here we are, week 4. We're already a third of the way through the regular season.
Well, and with the alignment of the new Big 8 with 14 teams and the district changes, there's no out-of-conference games anymore. So starting week 1, everything is important, whether you're talking conference or district. As far as the district goes, the Wildcats currently have a nice point lead in the district. However, a victory here tonight would go a long way in the district standings.
Well, tonight's game is not only a competitive contest between these two schools, it's also an educational experience for the students involved. Because high school activities are about learning life values, everyone needs to help do their part in keeping our hometown sports a positive experience. When you attend your next game, do your part to help rekindle the spirit of citizenship by showing good sportsmanship. You'll be teaching a positive lesson, and you'll be preserving a proud tradition in the state of Missouri. This sportsmanship reminder brought to you by Access Family Care, with locations in Joplin, Monette, and Cassville, as well as Neosho. Access Family Care bringing you the sportsmanship reminder. Was going to jump into the Wildcat keys to victory, but it looks like the Seneca Indian Marching Band is coming out onto the field, so we're just about ready to get to the national anthem. Tonight's national anthem brought to you by Berry County Ready Mix. For any and all of your ready mix stone or aggregate needs, stop by Berry County Ready Mix at any of their convenient locations in Shell Knob, Cassville, or Eagle Rock. You can reach their Cassville office by phone at 847-3200 for a free estimate today. We'll step aside and be back with more of the pregame right after this. Sammy Clapper and Jeremy Marple back here at Seneca. It's time for the night's Wildcat Keys to Victory, brought to you by Wesco Home Furnishings in Cassville. Mark Whittemire and the crew at Wesco Home Furnishings are looking forward to another great season of Wildcat football. Just like the quality portrayed by each Wildcat football player on the field, Wesco offers the same quality merchandise and customer service. Well, if the weather holds off, which it looks like it's going to, one of my keys to a win tonight, the way the weather looked earlier today, was hanging on to the football because I thought it was going to be a slippery pigskin. But it's still very damp out there. The grass is wet. I made a circle around the stadium. It is very wet, and with all the moisture we've got in the air, the humidity, when the sun goes down, it's behind the clouds right now, but when it gets dark, it will get slippery and wet out there.
Well, and with that being said, the offensive line of the Wildcats and the running game going to be tougher to get to the edge tonight and make cuts. The offensive line is going to have to create some running lanes so they can run downhill at this Indian defense.
A year ago, the Wildcats and the Indians got hooked up in a wild one that Cassville won 62-27. But if we remember back to that game, Trey Wilson caught fire in the second half of that football game and scored 3 touchdowns. They're going to have to find a way to not only control him, but control this Seneca running game.
Absolutely. You've got to stop the run first and foremost, force them to do things that they don't necessarily want to do, like put the football in the air. Yeah, taking control, defensive line. Again, it's all about the line of scrimmage, offensive and defensive line of scrimmage for the Wildcats tonight.
And we've talked about that, it seems like every week up to this point, controlling what's going on down in the trenches.
Absolutely. If you can win that battle, you've got half of it licked.
Again, the Wildcat Keys to Victory brought to you by Wesco Home Furnishings. Mark and the gang at Wesco invite you to stop by and view their wide selection of furniture, mattresses, and appliances at 109 West 8th Street in Cassville. You can also find them online at wescohome.com. Cassville in their road white jerseys with gold pants, black helmets, black numbers on the front with the black and white stripes down the side. Seneca in their traditional red jerseys, white helmets and white pants as they get geared up and ready to go here this evening. Really nice crowd gathering for this one. Should be another great atmosphere here at Earl D. Campbell Stadium. A lot of folks making the trip over from Cassville, filling up the far side of the stadium. And Seneca with a lot of folks out as well. And they're all hoping that the rain stays away so we don't have to battle the weather. And another very pleasant night of high school football up to this point here in week number 4.
Wildcat uniform combo, I believe that's a new combo. We've seen the black pants and white tops. Tonight we've got the bright gold with white tops. Again, very Pittsburgh Steelerish, I'd say.
Most definitely so, yeah. When they go the black on gold, it looks that way, and now the white over gold has the exact same look, and even more so with the Wildcat on that black helmet. Pittsburgh only has the logo, the Steelers, on one side of their helmet, but it's a circle, and from a distance, you see that gold Wildcat almost appears to be a circle. It's kind of very reminiscent, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Well, we're going to take another quick break here as we've got time before tonight's opening kickoff. We'll be back with the Wildcats starting lineup after this. You're listening to Big 8 Conference Football here on the Talon Network. Welcome back to Earl D. Campbell Stadium. Cassville Wildcats on the road tonight, taking on the Seneca Indians here in Big 8 Conference play. It's time for tonight's Wildcat starting lineups, brought to you by Fast Trip at 104 South Main in Cassville. Great prices and friendly service is what you'll find at Fast Trip. Stop by today. Locally owned by Mike and Anita Carr. On the defensive side for the Wildcats, they will start at the tackles. Jacob Hall, a 5'8", 250-pound senior, and Garrett Kreitz, a 6', 290-pound sophomore. Defensive end, Jaden Rybert, 6'2", 230 junior, and Andrew Pryor, 6'2", 200-pound senior. Linebackers, Carson Jacobson, 5'10", 150 senior, Zach Kanan, 5'11", 190 junior, and Jacob Olberts, a 5'10", 170 senior. The corners, Jerome Ewing, a 5'9", 150 junior, and DJ White, a 6'1", 190 senior. Strong safety, Jericho Ferris, 5'10", 180 junior, and free safety, Bowen Preddy, 6'1", 180 senior. On the offensive side for the Wildcats, at quarterback, it's Devin Bates. On the year, Devin has thrown for 322 yards unofficially and 5 touchdowns. He's a 5'9", 145-pound senior. Running back, Zach Kanan, 5'11", 190 junior. He's ran for 223 yards and a touchdown. And Bowen Preddy, a 6'1", 180 senior. Preddy has accounted for 324 rushing yards and 7 rushing touchdowns. At the receivers, it's Brett Cooper, a 5'8", 155 junior, and DJ White, a 6'1", 190 senior. DJ has caught passes for 218 yards and 4 touchdowns through the first 3 weeks of the season. Tight end, Killian Barbie. He has suffered an injury but is back tonight. Did not require surgery, so they wrapped it up, and he'll be ready to go at tight end. Barbie, a 6'2", 190 junior. The line for the Wildcats, Hunter Chastain, 6'1", 225 junior. Jaden Rybert, 6'2", 230 junior. Troy Hagans, 5'11", 210 senior. Nate Boley, 5'10", 210 senior. And Zach Carney, 6'1", 220-pound junior. Again, the Wildcat starting lineup brought to you by Fast Trip. Whether you're looking for fuel, grocery items, fountain drinks, ice cream, or snacks, they have it all and at the very best prices. Fast Trip, 104 South Main in Cassville, locally owned by Mike and Anita Carr. Both teams have made their way out onto the playing surface. They have to meet with the officials as the coaches and the captains will enact the coin toss. Ryan McFarland, head coach of the Indians, and Lance Parnell, head coach of the Cassville Wildcats. And they are gathering their captains together right now, getting ready to go out for the coin toss. We've still got about 5 or 6 minutes before tonight's opening kickoff, so it will give us an opportunity to break away for just a little bit and let you hear from some more of our sponsors of tonight's broadcast. You're listening to Big 8 Football here on the Talon Network. here at Earl D. Campbell Stadium, Tom Hodge Field, just about ready to get this Big 8 game underway between Cassville and Seneca. The Wildcats won the toss, and they have deferred their option to the second half, so the Wildcats will be kicking off to start tonight's football game. Tonight's kickoff brought to you as always by Baywash Car Wash, featuring the all-new IQ Soft Cloth Automatic. It's custom wash technology giving you the perfect wash every time. With Baywash, a clean car is a happy car, and that makes you feel good. Tonight's first quarter is brought to you by Michael's Hardware at 186 Sale Barn Road in Cassville. For your project questions, call Michael's. Friendly folks, serious hardware. Drake Reese tees it up and will be set to kick it away, dropping back for the Indians. Looks like they will have Trey Wilson going back. Also back there to join him will be Preston Armstrong. A little bit of a breeze still blowing here at Earl D. Campbell Stadium, coming out of the south-southwest, so it's a crosswind. This field lies east to west is the way it runs, and Cassville will be kicking out of the west end zone, going from our right to left as we look on here this evening. The whistle sounds, and we are ready to play football here in Seneca. Reese booms this one high and deep, and it will take the return man all the way back, and 1 foot crosses the goal line. Wilson wanted to bring it out, but his back foot crossed into the end zone, and it'll be a touchback. The Indians will start at their own 20.
And another nice kick there by Reese. Very high, end over end. Really allows that coverage unit to fly down the field and get in good position.
So here we go. The Indians come up to the line of scrimmage for the first time tonight. 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Lance Stevens, quarterback for the Indians. 5'11", 190-pound junior. They'll send a receiver out wide to the right. And that will be Kyle Simpson. They go full house backfield, the old wishbone look, and they hand it off to the second halfback through on the left side. And he is stacked up as soon as he crosses the line of scrimmage, dives forward for a pickup of a couple of yards. Good run by Wilson as he was able to pick up almost 3, and it'll bring up 2nd down and 7.
The Indians come out with some power football. Nice job. Defensive end, Jaden Rybert there. Also, Zach Kanan to help clean that up.
They split the backfield this time. Behind Stevens, they still send a receiver out wide to the left. Long look by the Indian quarterback. Takes the snap, gives it to the first man through. Big hole over the right side. And out across the 30 and out to the 35 is Monty Males. Males has been battling some injury problems here in the early season, but he picks up a first down on his first carry of the night.
A good kick out block there by the right tackle. Males took that handoff, made a nice cut at the line of scrimmage. Down the field he went, brought down at the end of the play. DJ White able to get into his legs.
It's a gain of 12 for Monty Males and a first down for the Indians at their own 35-yard line. Just underway here in the opening quarter. Seneca with the first drive of the night. Indians split receivers right and left this time, and they keep the backfield split behind Stevens. He crouches down under center. Gives it off this time left side to Males. Males a big hole on the left side. He breaks a man miss, makes another man miss, takes it into Cassville territory, and he's got a first down all the way down at the Wildcat 38-yard line.
Well, once again, the Indians running right at this Wildcat defense. First couple of plays off the right side. This time they go left. Males showing no signs of that dinged up ankle, running very hard, getting into the Wildcats secondary.
A gain of 27 yards for Monty Males and a first down at the Cassville 38. Stevens this time has a flanker off to his right, and it looks like they're having some difficulties getting either the proper personnel or the proper setup, and the Indians have to use a timeout here. Stops the clock at 10:25 left to go in the opening quarter. Indians moving the football. The timeout on the field brought to you by Superior Metal Sales. If you're looking for a steel building, shop, or roof that will defend against the elements, see the folks at Superior Metal on Highway 76 south of Cassville.
Well, the Wildcats thankful for this time out on the field, able to go over and regroup with their head coach, defensive coordinator Lance Parnell. Kind of figure out what that offensive line's doing to them.
1st and 10 Indians at the Cassville 38. Indians have had 3 running plays to open up this drive, and they quickly move the ball from their own 20 down to the Cassville 38. 2 big runs by Monty Males, the key plays so far in this drive. He's already got 39 yards on 2 carries.
And both of these Seneca backs do a great job. They've got great balance and run with very good vision as well.
bring the receiver to the right side this time. Stevens crouches under center, and he gives it off to Wilson. Wilson straight up the gut, and he plows his way forward to about the 35-yard line. We'll see if they give him forward progress all the way. Looks like one of the linesmen is saying no. In fact, they stop him at the 37, so it's a pickup of only a yard.
A nice job at the point of attack there by this Wildcat defense.
Looked like he was able to push closer to the 35 than that, but it ends up being little to no gain, and it'll bring up second down and long for the Indians. Stevens this time acted like he wanted to throw. Instead, he pitches the ball to Males, and we've seen our first footing issues as Males slips and falls.
We talked a little bit about that in the pregame, trying to get sideline to sideline and make that cut to turn upfield could cause some trouble for these backs tonight on both sides.
It's a loss of 4 back to the 41-yard line. It'll bring up third down and nearly 13 to go. 9.5 left to go, opening quarter, still no score. Trip receivers all in a bunch out here at the 40-yard marker on the right side for Seneca. They look back to the other side. Stevens lets it fly. He's got a man open. The catch is made just shy of the 30, and he is dropped short of the first down marker. The catch made by Dathan Long, and it'll bring up fourth and short.
Ewing giving some cushion over there on the out route, but he did a really nice job of coming up in the open field, getting into the legs of the receiver, not allowing him to pick up that first down.
It's a gain of 11, and it'll bring up fourth down and 2. Seneca hustling up to the line of scrimmage, and now whistles sound as Cassville going to use a timeout. Stopping the clock with 8:56 left to go in the first quarter. Again, tonight's first quarter brought to you by Michael's Hardware. Let them quarterback your project with the right tools and supplies for the job. Michael's, friendly folks, serious hardware.
Big fourth down right here. I know it's early in the game. Wildcats trying to get some bigger personnel in the game along that defensive line. And both teams burning a timeout here in the first quarter.
4th and 2 from the 30-yard line for the Seneca Indians, and that is the Cassville 30-yard line. They've moved the ball 50 yards, but now the drive, if it is to continue, hinges on this fourth down and short play.
Got to be very disciplined along that line of scrimmage here. Watch the hard count.
Coach McFarland sending his offense back out onto the field. Big point of this football game early on here. We're not even halfway through the first quarter. 4th and 2. Indians overload the right side. They keep everyone in tight. Wilson all alone in the backfield. Cassville moving around defensively. They fake the handoff to Wilson. Stevens trying to run for the first down himself. He rolls off of the defender and turns it upfield, and it looks like he has enough for the first down, and they do signal first down Seneca.
Just picking up enough. Just a great effort by Stevens there, rolling off the back of an offensive lineman, was able to roll and fall forward. Huge first down for the Indians.
So successful fourth down conversion for Seneca, and the drive continues now at the Cassville 27. Closing in on 8.5 left to go in quarter number 1. Stevens started to line up in the shotgun. Now he moves back up under center. Again, they bunch up the right side, keep Wilson all alone in the backfield. They've got Dathan Long out wide to the left. Cassville moving defensively again, trying to confuse Seneca. Stevens is going to keep it himself. Fakes the handoff and then tucks it up underneath and dives off right tackle inside the 25 down to the 24, picks up 3 yards.
Seneca with a lot of pre-snap shifting motion to looking to the sideline, trying to get a look, see what their coaches see out of this Wildcat defense before they climb under center, run a play.
Indians this time send receivers right and left. They got a man in the flank position on the right with split backfield of Males and Wilson. Play clock down to 7 seconds. Stevens hands it off to Wilson. Here comes Wilson around the right end, breaks the tackle at the 20, and drags another man down to the 15. It will be good for another Seneca first down.
Wilson, the bigger of the two backs, going to run with a lot of authority, power. Males, a little more of a slasher, quick feet. Both very talented. This Wildcat defense is going to have their hands full tonight, Sammy.
Yeah, Wilson listed at 195, Males at 170. So you got Good speed and power out of both of them. Wilson with a little more of the bulk coming out of the backfield. Split behind Stevens once again. This time they fake it. No, they hand it to Males. Males, a big hole off the left tackle, and he drives all the way down inside the 10. A huge hole opened up that time by the Seneca offensive front against the Cassville defense. And Males is able to take it all the way down to the 9.
Well, early, halfway through the first quarter of the game, Sammy, Seneca is certainly winning the line of scrimmage battle.
So 2nd down and 4 from inside the 10 for the Indians. Trip receivers to the right side once again. They've got Lynch all alone off to the left. You'll have to keep an eye on him. Stevens rolling to the right, pitches the ball back to Wilson, and Wilson takes a lick from one man, and then DJ White comes in to help finish him off back at the 14-yard line.
A big lick by DJ White coming in from his corner position. Wilson and White met, and we heard it all the way up here, and both players ended up on their backsides. Big hit right there by DJ.
It's a loss of nearly 5 yards back to the 14. It'll bring up 3rd down and 9. We're under 6 minutes left to go here in the opening quarter. Still no score. 3 receivers to the short side of the field for the Indians. Stevens looking that direction. Now he throws into the corner, and up in the air and coming down with the football is Dathan Long, and Long gets the Indians on the board.
Just a route along the back line of the end zone. Long, tall receiver able to go up, snatch it out of the air. Great throw and great catch just over the outstretched arms of the Wildcat corner.
Yeah, Dathan Long, they list him at 6'3", 200 pounds. That's a good size for a high school receiver. So the Indians drive it 80 yards and punch it in for the score, converting a 4th down situation along the way, and now they line up to go for 2. Stevens this time from the shotgun, fakes the handoff to Wilson, lobs it out to Males, and the 2-point conversion is good. A 12-play, 80-yard drive, and the Indians are on top 8-0 with 5:44 left to go in the first quarter. Again, tonight's first quarter brought to you by Michael's Hardware in Cassville. They'll give your to-do list a game plan that's sure to be a winner. Michael's Hardware, friendly folks, serious hardware.
Well, great opening possession for the Seneca Indians, marching down the field, ending up with points on the board. And a nice mixture of run and pass as well.
Lance Stevens completing 2 passes along the way. They ran the ball 10 times. And they find the end zone first here tonight. So 8-0, Seneca with the early lead, a little over halfway through the first quarter. Hey, and we're in week number 4. It just hit me that we're halfway through the first quarter. We don't have to have water breaks.
Right.
So no stoppages for that. DJ White and Jericho Ferris drop back for the Wildcats, awaiting the kick. Kicking things off for the Indians will be Garrett Babbitt. Babbitt boots this one end over end. DJ White has an eye on it, steps up and takes it at the 15-yard line. Gets Ferris out in front. White trying to get to the sidelines, turns the corners, across the 30, across the 40, breaks the tackle, down the sidelines, across midfield, and it looks like he was into Seneca territory before he got shoved out of bounds.
White catching that football in the middle of the field, working his way over towards the Wildcat sideline, did a nice job of letting those blockers set up in front of him, turned on the afterburners, making it out almost looks like exactly midfield, but a great return by DJ White.
Yep, they are going to put it right at the 50. So Cassville with a good 35-yard return on the kick by DJ White. Sets up at midfield. And the officials, I spoke too soon.
Spoke too soon.
Yeah, they're going to take a water break. Even though they don't have to anymore, they're still going to, which it is a very humid night, even though the temperatures are comfortable. It's another one of those nights that's deceptive because it's so humid it really saps the energy out of you.
Losing a lot of water, absolutely.
8-0, Seneca with the lead, and Cassville with the ball for the first time. Seneca took over 6 minutes off the clock, and that will be a concern for Cassville if that trend continues throughout the night as well.
Absolutely. They ran clock, ran plays, just maybe one negative yardage play, but they went right down the field through this Wildcat defense, put points on the board.
So the Wildcats coming out of the officials' timeout. Up to the line of scrimmage, twin receivers to the right side. That's Cooper and White. They split the backfield behind Devin Bates. First snap of the night for the Wildcat offense. Bates takes it and hands it off to the second man through, and that is Zach Kanan. Kanan powers his way into Seneca territory, tripped up at about the 47.5-yard line, picks up 2 yards. It'll bring up 2nd down and 8.
A little counter play there. Kanan coming back across the quarterback, Devin White, off the left hip of the center there.
Kanan over 220 yards rushing through the first 3 weeks of the season. He has 1 rushing touchdown and 1 touchdown reception. 2nd down and long. Bates looking to throw. Launches down the middle of the field. He's got White open at the 20. The catch is made. 15, 10, 5. Takes the defender into the end zone. Touchdown, Cassville.
Great play call right there. Play action in the backfield. Bates dropping back. DJ White coming from that Wildcat sideline. Got to the middle of the field behind the secondary. Ball placed right in stride. White took on some contact. Had a couple of tacklers just inside the 10-yard line. Was able to get down near the goal line and stretch the ball out. Big play for the Wildcats.
The 5th touchdown reception of the year for DJ White, and Cassville's right back into the ball game. Now Drake Reese in to attempt the point after. Snap back, ball down. The kick is up, high, long, and good. The Wildcat touchdown brought to you by Willis Insurance, established in 1887. They're conveniently located on the square in Cassville and in the Bridgeway Plaza in Shellknott. Stop by or call 847-3300. Willis Insurance, your trusted choice insurance agent. The extra point brought to you by Crowder College. Main campus in Neosho, satellite campus there in Cassville. For class and enrollment information, go online to crowder.edu. So 4:52 left to play in the first quarter. Cassville answers the lengthy, time-consuming drive by the Indians with a quick strike, only 2 plays, 50 yards. 48 of those yards covered through the air from Devin Bates to DJ White for the touchdown.
And you see a play like that where the receiver has the football out ahead of the defensive back and they're coming from behind trying to pull him backwards out of the end zone. White came up out of the end zone, limping a little, limped off towards the sideline. More than likely nursing an ankle right now, but that happens a lot of times when you're getting tackled from behind.
So Drake Reese will kick it away. The Wildcat kickoff brought to you by Baywash Car Wash. A clean car is a happy car, and that makes you feel good. Baywash Car Wash in Cassville. Reese boots this one high and even deeper than the first, and this will go over the head of the return man and into the end zone. Another touchback. The Indians will get it at the 20.
Wildcat defense didn't have much time over there to visit about things, visit about that first series. But they certainly will need to make some adjustments this time.
So 4:52 left to go in the first quarter. 8-7, Seneca with the lead. Both teams have scored on their opening possessions of the night. Seneca going for 2. Successful on that, so they hold the 1-point lead. So the second offensive possession of the night for the Indians. They come back with split backfield, receiver right side. That's long. They hand the ball off to the tailback, and that's Trey Wilson. Wilson powers his way out across the 25 to about the 26-yard line. Nice pickup on first down.
Once again, downhill, off left side that time. Wilson taking some contact and able to fall forward at the end of the play.
We talked about Wilson being listed at nearly 200 pounds, but that's in a 5'10 frame. He is very hard to tackle. He's compact and very powerful. On 2nd down and 4, running the ball again. This time Males gets the call, and he is hit behind the line of scrimmage and loses a yard back to the 25.
Jacob Olbert's great job from his linebacker position, able to fire through that line of scrimmage and meet the ball carrier in the backfield. Great play.
Clock continuing to move. We're down to 4 minutes left to go in the opening quarter. Seneca with the 8-7 lead. And it will be 3rd down and 5 for the Indians. They were unsuccessful their first 3rd down try, but they ended up making it on 4th down. We'll see what happens here. Twin receivers right and left. And Stevens with a straight drop, now under pressure. Steps up in the pocket, a penalty flag is thrown, and Stevens is dropped back at the line of scrimmage for no gain on the play, but a flag thrown in the Seneca backfield, a holding call against the Indians.
Holding call, they're going to decline that. Big play right there by the Wildcat defensive line. Everyone in coverage, Wildcat defensive line closing all around Stevens. He tried to step up in the pocket. Brought down at the end of the play by Kreitz. Nice job.
So that will bring up 4th down and 5, and looks like this time they're sending out the kicking unit. They're not going to gamble here inside their own 30. And the punt team will come on.
A much better showing from this Wildcat defense there, Sammy.
Stevens is also the punter for the Indians, and DJ White and Jericho Ferris back at their own 40 awaiting the kick. He'll be punting into that breeze that's flowing through Earl D. Campbell Stadium. Gets a good leg into this one. Takes DJ White back to his own 40. Tries to pick up a block, and now he's going to have to hustle to get to the edge. And he turns the corner, but is only able to get out across the 45 and will not make it back to midfield. Good downfield coverage by the Indians.
White actually taking the football backward some before he was able to get turned over near that Wildcat sideline. The Wildcats once again start with excellent field position.
The 35-yard kick and a 7-yard return. 1st and 10 Wildcats at their own 47. On 1st down, the Wildcats running the football. Zach Kanan powers off right tackle, stops short of the 50.
Straight ahead with Kanan.
It's a gain of a couple of yards. It'll bring up 2nd down and 8.
We see Kanan eating up a lot of tough yards through the first 3 weeks of this season.
Down to 3 minutes now left to play here in the first quarter. 8-7, Seneca with the lead. Cassville with the football. Seneca scored their first possession of the night. The Wildcats forced them to punt the second possession. Now Cassville with the football. They've got twin receivers right. Here comes White in motion. Gets the inside handoff. A wall of blockers in front. He's inside the 45. Takes on contact and is spun down at the 44-yard line of the Indians.
The last moment, White trying to spin off the tacklers, out stretching that football out, trying all he could to pick up that 1st down. Going to be close, a little bit short. Just an end around to White coming from right to left.
It'll bring up 3rd down and 1. The ball at the Seneca 44-yard line. Now from the outset, that looked like it was going to pick up more yardage than what it did, but Seneca did a nice job closing quickly on DJ White. So here we go. Quarterback keeper, Devin Bates, right up the middle, and he has more than enough for the 1st down as he takes it all the way down to the 40-yard line. Wildcat 1st down brought to you by Sears Hometown Store in Cassville. They offer the best in quality brand name appliances like Kenmore, Samsung, LG, Whirlpool, and GE. Sears located at 99 Highway 37 South in Cassville.
Yeah, good job on that sneak by Hagens, also Rybert, and then quarterback Bates able to get right in behind him and power his way ahead.
So 1st and 10 Cassville at the Seneca 40. We're down to 1:45 left to go here in the first quarter. Wildcats down by a point, 8-7, Seneca with the lead. Twin receivers to the right side, I formation behind Bates. He pitches the ball back to Jericho Ferris. He has Kanan in front, turns the corner and is upended just shy of the 35-yard line. Again, Seneca's defense doing a nice job closing quickly on the ball carrier after a short pickup of 4 yards.
You see Ferris runs the ball hard. He's got good feet. He's quick with the football. When he decided to go downfield, he put that right foot in the ground and made his way down there.
So 2nd down and 6 now facing Cassville as we move to 60 seconds left to go in the quarter. Stay with the I formation. Bates is going to run it this time, and he is tripped up and falls forward back to the 35. It's a gain of 1. It'll bring up another 3rd down. This one 3rd and 5.
Trying to run a little option game around the left edge that time. The fullback was blown up right at the line of scrimmage. Bates able to pull the football out, tried to get what he could, but defended very well by the Indians.
So Cassville successful on their first 3rd down conversion try. That was a short one. This one a little more significant. 3rd and 5 at the Seneca 35. Bates brings Cooper in motion. Passes through between quarterback and running backs, and Bates rolls to his right. Lets one fly. Catch is made by Kanan right at the 1st down stake, and he turns upfield and picks up the 1st down.
A nice little play call right there. They bring Cooper in motion as the wideout on that side from right to left, clearing the defenders out. They run a little bootleg play action. Bates delivering a nice pass. Kanan makes the catch at the marker, turns upfield. Good play.
It's a gain of 9 and a 1st down for the Wildcats. Wildcat 1st down brought to you by Sears Hometown Store in Cassville, your local destination for all your home appliance and mattress needs, as well as a great selection of lawn and garden products. Cassville with the ball at the 26 now. Inside handoff goes to Kanan. Kanan taking on contact and powers his way down inside the 20. Another hard run by Zach Kanan. Looks like they bring him down at the 19. After a pickup of 7, it'll bring up second down and 3.
Yeah, just right behind that right guard. Kanan able to take some contact, as you said, powers his way forward. Good gain there on first down.
That will be the final play of the first quarter. They'll swap ends of the field, and after 12 minutes of play, Seneca leads Cassville by a score of 8-7. We'll step aside and be back with quarter number 2. You're listening to Big 8 Football here on the Talon Network. Seneca, we are set to start the second quarter. Seneca leading over Cassville 8-7. The Wildcats with the ball at the Indian 19-yard line. Running the ball on second down. Zach Kanan, another hard run, takes it all the way down near the 10-yard line. It's going to be a first down for the Wildcats. The Wildcat first down brought to you by Sears Hometown Store in Cassville. They offer brand name appliances, power tools, lawnmowers, fitness equipment, and much more. Come by and let them get to know you.
That right side, Hunter Chastain, also Rybert and tight end Barbie. Nice job clearing the way for Olbert to pick up that first down there.
So first and goal from the 10. This Wildcat drive in the red zone brought to you by Roark Diesel. Since 2006, they've been providing Cassville and surrounding area with a huge selection of diesel performance products. Call them at 847-6560 or online, roarkdiesel.com. On first down, they give the ball to Kanan again, and Kanan off right tackle bangs and pounds his way inside the 5 down to the 4.
Yeah, Kanan workhorse in this drive. Again, very physical runner, able to take on that contact and keep going.
So it'll bring up second down and goal from the 4. Cassville looking for their first lead of the night early on here in quarter number 2. They trail 8-7. They go with the Rhino package, full house backfield. And they pitch the ball to Kanan. Gets a kick out block from Preddy. He's hit coming down the line of scrimmage. I believe that was Monty Males that got in there and stopped him before he could get to the line of scrimmage. It's going to be about a half-a-yard loss, and it'll be third and goal from just inside the 5.
Wildcats with that Rhino package, everything you see on tape from them is they're going to run some power football. This time they tried a little toss sweep, and the Indians just too quick.
Jacob Olbert's in there at fullback, and then Preddy and Kanan, the 2 halfbacks. They give the ball to Preddy this time, dances his way through the line of scrimmage, but then runs into a wall of Indians and is driven back after a pickup of only a yard, and it'll bring up fourth down.
Fourth down from somewhere around the 4-yard line maybe. See what the Wildcats decide to do here.
Looks like Drake Reese is coming in with the kicking tee. Cassville trying to get a lead change here early on in the second quarter. They spot the tee down at about the 11-yard line. So a 21-yard field goal attempt from Drake Reese with Devin Bates the hold. Snap back, it's low. Bates gets it on the tee. The kick is up, and the kick is good. And the Wildcats on top, 10-8 after the 21-yard field goal from Reese.
Snap a little bit low. Bates did a nice job of going down to dig that ball out of the ground and get it on the tee. The Wildcats take the lead here.
The Wildcat field goal brought to you by Crowder College. with the satellite campus in Cassville right there on the business loop. You can find out more about classes and enrollment information by going online, crowder.edu. Tonight's second quarter brought to you by Young Family and Cosmetic Dentistry. Find them online at youngfamilydentistry.com, or you can give them a call at their Cassville office, 374-2130. They provide exceptional quality dentistry and incomparable customer service, whether it's veneers, preventative or restorative, or even if you need dental implants, they can take care of all of your dental needs. Young Family and Cosmetic Dentistry, with offices in Joplin and Cassville. Again, their Cassville office, 374-2130. Drake Reese set to kick it away. The Wildcat kickoff brought to you by Baywash Car Wash with the all-new IQ Soft Cloth Automatic, featuring custom wash technology, giving you the perfect wash every time. Reese kicking the opposite direction this time towards the west end zone, and he takes the return man back to the 2-yard line, and he's going to bring it out from there, and that is Wilson. Wilson running through tacklers at the 25, breaks it down the sidelines across the 40, and is finally taken out near midfield.
A big return there by Wilson. The Wildcat had defenders in the way, but you're going to have to wrap up. You can't just put a shoulder, try to knock them down. Not these Seneca running backs. They're tough. They're able to take hits, stay on their feet. Wildcats are going to have to do a better job of tackling.
We've talked about trying to tackle Wilson. He is a handful, and he showed it right there, running through a couple of attempted tackles and picking up an extra 20 yards. Out to midfield, the Indians with a spark of life after the Cassville field goal. Monty Males this time takes the direct snap, and he's going to run the football. Around the right end he goes, and he is upended at the 40-yard line, but is right at the first down marker. Looks like they're signaling first down Indians.
Well, Males gets the football. When he decides to turn downfield, he gets down there in a hurry. Very good speed and quickness picking up that first down.
Males unofficially 50 yards already here in the first half on only 6 carries. First and 10 Indians at the Cassville 40-yard line. 9 minutes left to go in the first half. Cassville leading 10-8. Stevens this time straight up the middle with Wilson. Wilson running through tacklers again at the 30, breaks the tackle at the 25, and he is going to take it to the end zone.
Once again, the Wildcats with defenders in good spots to make plays. Wilson just able to run right through the arm tackles into the secondary all the way to the end zone. And again, the Wildcats not able to tackle in this drive.
2 plays, 50 yards. The last 40 covered by Trey Wilson for the touchdown, and Seneca goes back in front. Back and forth we go here in the first half. Indians had the early lead. Cassville was able to pull to within 1 with the touchdown, take the lead with a field goal, and now Seneca back on top after the long run by Wilson. They overload the right side. They fake the handoff, going for 2. Pass is trying to go to their big tight end, and it's overthrown. And the 2-point conversion fails, and it's 14-10. Seneca with the lead with 8:52 left to go in the second quarter. Again, tonight's second quarter brought to you by Young Family and Cosmetic Dentistry. Whether you want preventative, restorative, porcelain veneers, dental implants, or even sleep apnea therapy or Botox fillers, they can take care of all of that for you at Young Family and Cosmetic Dentistry. Find them online, youngfamilydentistry.com, or call their Cassville office at 374-2130. Indians back on top, 14-10. We've still got a long ways to go before halftime. We've had a lot of fireworks already here in the first half.
Just running up and down this football field, Sammy. Big pass plays, big run plays. Been fun to watch if you like offense. If you like defense, it's left something to be desired out here tonight.
DJ White and Jericho Ferris drop back awaiting the kick of Babbitt. He tees it up at the 40-yard line. Gets the whistle. And he approaches and boots it away. Line drive kick this time. DJ White fields it back at his own 15. Takes it to the Cassville side, cuts it up at the hash mark. He's across the 30, across the 35. A flag comes in at the 40-yard line, which is where DJ White ended up with the football.
See what the foul is here. It looks like it may be against the Wildcats.
And we have a hold called against Cassville. The flag was thrown at the 39, so it'll be 10 yards marked off from there. This is the first penalty that's been accepted by either team here tonight, and it goes against Cassville for 10 yards. and it will move them back to the 29-yard line.
One thing we haven't seen much of tonight, Sammy, is Bowen Preddy. We know he started this game in the backfield.
He was in at that goal line package.
He came back in, but he was missing for quite some time. Looks like he may be back in right now.
Yeah, he's back there with Ferris, and we've got a whistle as the Wildcats trying to shuffle players from the left side around to the right side. And we've got a procedure penalty called against Cassville, and right now the Wildcats go in the wrong direction. Back-to-back penalties for a total of 15 yards, and it'll move them back to the 24. First and 15, Cassville. They bring White in motion. Bates rolling to his right. Pressure coming. And a defender reached in and tried to knock the ball out of Devin Bates' hand and nearly was successful. And that was Nick Arrowsmith. He came in from a linebacker position and nearly stripped the ball away. And then the rest of the defense for the Indians dropped Bates all the way back at the 16-yard line.
Yeah, just a great play defensively there to beat his block and able to get his hand in there as Bates was trying to make that throw. Had to regroup. Bates had to regroup, try to bring the ball back in to throw it again. By that time, there's too many red jerseys around.
So second down and a bundle. They need to get all the way out to the 39-yard line. Right now they're at their own 16. Bates trying to set up a screen, and the pass is batted down by Dathan Long. The big 6'3" receiver, also a defensive end, got up in the air and swatted it away.
Wildcats had that set up really nicely right there, but Long just made a great play to knock the ball out of the air. But there was a lot of green grass out there in front of Jericho Ferris.
So it's going to bring up third down for the Wildcats. We knew Seneca had a lot of talent back on the offensive side of the football. Some of the questions was on the defense, but right now the Indians playing better defense than the Wildcats.
Yeah, they absolutely are. And they're very fired up. You're starting to see the Wildcats, not a lot of emotion on the sideline or on the field right now. They're going to have to pick it up.
And we've got a flag thrown, and I think the Wildcats may have taken too long, even with the 40-second clock. It showed 0 in the end zone. And it looks like Cassville was able to get a timeout called before the delay of game penalty. So the timeout on the field brought to you by Superior Metal. See them for any of your roofing and storage shed needs. Superior Metal, Highway 76, south of Cassville. 14-10, Seneca with the lead with 7:53 left to go here in the second quarter.
Well, the Wildcats were able in their last possession, able to drive down inside the 5. Tough defensive stand by the Indians, forcing the Wildcats into the field goal. But when you get the ball inside the 5-yard line, especially on the road, Sammy, you sure like to find a way to get 6 out of that.
Cassville facing a third down and 23 at their own 16-yard line. Wildcats are 2 for 2, converting third down so far here tonight. But they keep getting longer. The first one's 3rd and 2, the last one 3rd and 5, this one 3rd and 23.
Some self-inflicted wounds in this drive in particular.
Back-to-back penalties lost the Wildcats 15 yards, and then a couple of big defensive plays by the Indians have got them pushed back near their own 15-yard line. Bates looking to go deep. He's got DJ White behind the secondary, and the pass is a little bit overthrown, and then a hand reaches in at the last minute, and a flag comes out. Preston Armstrong trying to keep up with DJ White stride for stride, and a flag is thrown, and we will see what this is about.
Going to be pass interference. It looked like the defender had an arm in there. White was not able to get his right arm up. I kind of had it pinned down. If White's able to extend both arms on that play, Sam, that was a really nicely thrown football. If he's able to extend both arms, that's probably a catch and a huge play. The Wildcats are going to have another crack at third down here.
Yeah, it'll be a 15-yard penalty and move it out to the 31. And it'll bring up third down and a long 8. They need to get out across the 39 to pick up the first down. Twin receivers to the left side. Bates rolls that direction. Pass to the middle man. The ball tipped as he had a back coming out of the backfield, Freddie. He had a man in the middle, DJ White, and then the deep receiver for the Wildcats, I believe, was Moeller, and he tried to go for White in the middle, and the ball was tipped away.
Well, he's got a lot of confidence in DJ White, and deservedly so. Just tried to force a football to a covered receiver right there.
So that will bring up 4th down, and the Wildcats will have to punt. Mayles drops back at his own 30-yard line, awaiting the kick. And it is Drake Reese punting the football, and he gets a good leg into this one. This one goes up into the night sky. That was hard to see for a while. Mayles does not call for the fair catch, though. He brings it down inside the 25 and tries to scamper his way upfield. He is able to get out to the 26, maybe the 27. We'll see where the officials spot it down. But a lot of hang time on that punt by Reese.
Reese handles the kicking duties for the Wildcats. First time, I believe, we've seen him punt the football for the Wildcats. Little rugby style there, but very high. Good punt.
44-yard kick. Only a yard return, and the Indians have the ball, leading 14-10. 7.5 left to go here in the first half. Stevens from the shotgun this time. He's got running backs off of both hips. And he high snap, and he brings it down and gives it to Mayles. Mayles trying to get to the sidelines, has to cut back against the grain, and is stopped shy of the 30-yard line.
Again, right here in front of us, we see the Wildcats very aggressive on defense, maybe over pursuing just a tad, but reaching out and trying to grab rather than to get into these ball carriers.
Mayles is able to get 3.5 yards. It'll bring up 2nd down. Stevens this time runs the option, pitches to Mayles. He gets to the edge. He has the first down. He's across the 40. A flag thrown trailing the play, and Mayles is finally run down out between the 45 and 50-yard line, but from where this flag is thrown, this one may be coming back. Flag is back at the 34. So as Cassville was self-inflicting their drive, it looks like Seneca's doing the same thing.
Yeah, both teams shooting themselves in the foot a little bit here in the second quarter. The Wildcats catch a break right there.
So a 10-yard penalty will move it back to the 24 on the holding call. Mayles will get credit for 6 yards on the carry up to where the holding took place. But the other 15 to 20 yards that he tacked onto that run will be wiped away. 2nd down and 11. Stevens running himself. Now he hands the ball off late. Another flag comes out.
Maybe another holding call here.
This one thrown right at the point of contact, just shy of the 30-yard line. Stevens trying to create some extra space over there, and play drug on a little too long, and we've got a face mask called against Cassville.
Wow. Hard to tell from here. Official right there on it. The Wildcats giving it right back to the Indians.
And that will be a 1st down for Seneca. It's going to move the ball out to the 44.
6.5 minutes to go until halftime. Wildcat defense trying desperately to come up with a play here. Force a turnover, do something.
3rd penalty of the night for a total of 30 yards against Cassville. 4-man front. Stevens up under center. Gives it to Wilson. Wilson starts right, cuts back left, tears away from one man and takes it inside the 45 down to the 43.
A good tackle there. Chastain, defensive lineman, in the secondary making a tackle, able to just grab a hold and hang on and wrap up Wilson. Wilson again, a lot of commotion right at the line of scrimmage. Wildcats seem to be in good position, but these backs just able to high step through and run very powerfully.
It's a gain of 13. 1st down Seneca at the Cassville 43. Stevens this time looking to throw. He's got Long down the sidelines, one-on-one coverage. Long goes up and nearly took the ball away from the Cassville corner. That was Jerome Ewing. We saw Monette try to use their height advantage against Ewing last week and came up unsuccessful, but the Indians are going to try to do that with Dathan Long.
Yeah, big pressure by Barbie, blitzing from his linebacker position, forcing the ball to hang in the air, and ended up being a jump ball situation. Ewing, 5 or 6, maybe 7 inches shorter than Long, had great position there, was able to go up and bat the ball away.
So 2nd down and 10 for the Indians. They lead it 14-10 with 5:40 left to go in the first half. The ball at the Cassville 43-yard line. Seneca running the football. Monty Males down to the 40 as he picks up 3, and it'll bring up 3rd down.
A nice job that time, Kreitz, sophomore defensive lineman, able to get a hold of Males and hang on, brought him straight to the ground. Defensive line got to be able to hold at the point of attack here.
Both Males and Wilson already over 60 yards rushing here in the first half.
And we knew coming into this game tonight, Sammy, two-headed attack out of that Seneca backfield is going to be tough to deal with, and they're proving that.
So 3rd and 8 for Seneca. They're 0 for 2 on 3rd down tries here in the first half. Stevens hands it off to Monty Males, and Males starts to the left, makes a cutback move to the 35, and we've got flags again. Males is brought down at the 34, but shy of the first down stake.
We'll see. Call against the Indians here.
Males came up a couple of yards short of the first down stake, but the flag thrown back at the 40.
And an offsides. Somebody must have got an early start on that Indian offense.
So that will move it back to the 45-yard line. And it'll bring up 3rd down and 13. Seneca now with 30 yards of penalties on 3 flags.
Big 3rd down here for this Wildcat defense.
And we've got 4.5 left to go in the first half. Seneca leading 14-10.
The Indians going to run this clock down, looks like here, and call a timeout, talk things over.
So they do get the timeout called, stopping the clock with 4:25 left to go in quarter number 2. Tonight's second quarter, again, brought to you by Young Family and Cosmetic Dentistry with locations in Cassville and Joplin. Exceptional quality dentistry and incomparable customer service is what you'll find at Young Family and Cosmetic Dentistry. Find them online at youngfamilydentistry.com or call the Cassville office 374-2130. Timeout on the field brought to you by Superior Metal. If you're looking for a steel building, shop, or a roof that will defend against the elements, look no further than Superior Metal Sales, Highway 76, south of Cassville.
4.5 minutes to go, Sammy. The Wildcats won the opening flip, deferred to the second half, so they will get the football. They would really like an opportunity to get it back here and maybe do something right before the half. We've seen the Wildcats do that a couple of times this year, score with seconds remaining in the half.
14-10 our score here at Earl D. Campbell Stadium. And the officials are going to go ahead and kind of extend this timeout and let the teams hydrate a little bit. Seneca scoring on their opening drive of the night. Cassville did the same. The Wildcats then on their second possession took it inside the 5, but the drive got stalled by the Seneca defense. Cassville had to settle for a field goal to take a 10-8 lead. But then Seneca responded after a nice return to the kick. A 2-play 50-yard drive, 40 yards on the touchdown run from Trey Wilson. And they're back on top 14-10.
Trying to catch up, Sammy, on some of the scores around the conference. Lamar and Monette in the second quarter tied at 7.
So a good battle there at Burrow-Fowler Field, or Burrow-Fowler Stadium, excuse me, in that Big 8 West matchup. 3rd and 13, Seneca back up to the line of scrimmage. Stevens with a straight drop, steps up in the pocket and lets her fly, and he's got Long open, and he overthrew him. A little stutter step by Dathan Long, and he had gotten free on the near sideline, and the pass was over his head, incomplete.
A little double move there. Saw the Wildcats get hit with that last week against the Cubs. This time the Indians trying it again and nearly get a big play out of it.
So the Indians will be forced to punt. White and Ferris back inside their own 10-yard line. Stevens boots this one high in the air. Angles towards White, bounces at the 15. He now has to back away from it as it didn't take a big hop. Took a little bounce, and he had to get away from the football, and it rolls inside the 10, and Cassville will start deep in their own territory. Good punt that time by Stevens. They're going to spot it down at the 8, and that's where Cassville will take over possession. So a 38-yard kick for Stevens. No return. Cassville down 14-10, and we're down to 4 minutes left to go in the first half. And a flag thrown in the Cassville backfield as Zach Kanan turns the corner and takes it out to the 14-yard line.
We may have a personal foul in the backfield, as after Bates made the handoff, he was spun and slammed into the turf. And that is the call.
They spot the ball at the 13 for a pickup of 5, and then a personal foul called against the Indians. So things getting a little chippy here in the first half. The flag will move, or after the flag, they'll move it all the way out to the 28-yard line. It's 45 yards worth of penalties against the Indians now. 1st and 10, Cassville. Here comes Bowen Preddy, his second carry of the night. Another flag is thrown. And Preddy keeps his feet, keeps his momentum, takes it out to the 37, but a flag back at the 30.
Wow.
This is Friday night football, but it's starting to resemble last night's Thursday night NFL game with all the penalty flags.
I was going to say, it's looking like an NFL game from the officials. Lots of laundry on the field tonight.
And they signaled the penalty against the Wildcats. And it will bring the ball back to the 20 after the 10-yard penalty. We're down to 3:45 now left to go before halftime. Seneca leading 14-10. Twin receivers to the left, lone man out wide to the right. The Wildcats run the ball as they give it to Zach Kanan, and he drives ahead out to the 24-yard line, picks up 4 yards. It'll bring up 2nd down and 14.
And the Wildcats trying to catch the Indians napping with a little quick hitter right there, straight ahead with Kanan.
Down to 3 minutes now left to go before the break. Bates operating from the shotgun. He's got Kanan off his left hip, and he's looking to throw, and he's got Bowen Preddy streaking down the sidelines. Now he cuts it in and makes the catch at the 35-yard line of the Indians.
Great catch by Preddy. Preddy had a step on the safety. Preddy trying to work his way towards the middle of the football field. The ball thrown right down the hash. He kind of had to turn and make the catch. Slammed into the turf at the end of the play, but a huge throw and catch right there between Bates and Bowen Preddy.
A 41-yard pass completion and a 1st down for the Wildcats. The Wildcat 1st down brought to you by Sears Hometown Store. They offer a personalized shopping experience tailored to their community with the support of the folks at Sears Hometown Store in Cassville. Bates looking to go to the air again. He's got DJ White. Pass is caught at the 30-yard line. White trying to get extra yardage after the catch, and he is dragged down from behind, shy of the 25.
Nice catch there by Bates, trying to make a spin move on the corner, and a good job defensively of the corner, able to wrap up White right around the waist, not let him go.
It's a pickup of nearly 9 yards. It'll bring up 2nd down and short. So Cassville starting to move the football, going through the air. 2 minutes left to go before halftime. Wildcats down by 4. Now they run the ball once again as Kanan slides through the line of scrimmage, and it's tripped up at the 21. Yep, it'd say his knee went down at the 22, so it's a pickup of 4.
Picking up the 1st down, keeping the chains moving, the clock still moving, under 2 minutes to go here.
Again, the Wildcat 1st down brought to you by Sears Hometown Store in Cassville. A great selection of lawn and garden products, as well as home appliance and mattress needs as well. Cooper and White this time split wide to the right side. Catch is made by Ferris at the 20. He's inside the 10. Flags all over the place. We've got a flag back at the quarterback after Bates had thrown the football, and that's probably going to be on a late hit. But then we've got 3 flags down where Ferris caught the football and proceeded to run down the sideline. So
I think they're going to try to call a block in the back around the 12-yard line.
it's been a long time since I've seen so many penalty flags on the field at one time. We've got 4 of them out there on the ground.
Oh, I know. It's nice and colorful, isn't it, Sammy?
Yeah, there's only one guy that's still got his hanky in his pocket. We got a personal foul, roughing the passer against Seneca, and we've got an illegal block. And the personal foul supersedes the block, so guess what? We get to replay the down.
Replay first down and use some more time on the clock.
So it's 1st and 10 Cassville at the 22-yard line of the Indians. Ferris had that ball down around the 5 before being knocked out of bounds, but it's all brought back. Now they pitch the ball to Ferris, and they're going to see if he can get the yardage with his legs, but Seneca runs him down from behind, and it's going to be no gain on the play. It'll bring up 2nd down.
Well, watching Ferris run the football, he doesn't necessarily like to try to get to the edge. He likes to get the ball and get downfield in a hurry, just nowhere to go as the Indians stretching that play over near their own sideline.
Time becoming a factor now as we're inside 60 seconds left to go before halftime. Cassville in field goal range of Reese, but they would like to get 6. Devin Bates, 2-step drop, and the pass is batted away. It was nearly scooped up by Ferris coming out of the backfield, but again, it's Dathan Long getting those long arms up in the air and knocking down the pass.
Now trying to throw a deep slant there to White. You've got a corner giving White maybe 15 yards, maybe nearly 20 yards of cushion. You've also got a safety over there. You've got 2 defenders really all over White. The throw, the play there may have been best suited to go to Ferris leaking out of the backfield.
So 3rd down and 9 from the Seneca 21. Cassville with the football down by 4. 45 seconds left to go before halftime. I formation. Bates rolls to his left, and guess what? We got whistles. We may never get to halftime if this continues. And we've got a false start procedure penalty against Cassville.
I'm not sure all the receivers were able to get set before that ball was snapped.
Well, Tom Brady waited till halftime to quit watching last night. I think maybe he turned off our broadcast already tonight because he was sick of all the penalties last night. Did you see that today on the sports shows?
I did see that.
They said he quit watching at halftime because of the ridiculous penalty calling. And
you know, kind of ironic, a guy like Tom Brady talking about officials.
And it's not that these aren't legitimate calls. There's just been an excessive
amount. And I don't know, Sammy, we've been doing this a long time. I don't remember a game that we've seen this many flags in quite some time, especially in a half of football.
And Seneca has called a timeout. They're hoping to get the ball back here with a few seconds left on the clock. They lead at 14-10. Cassville facing 3rd down and 14. And the line of scrimmage, the 26-yard line.
Wildcats, if they can pick up another 8, maybe 10 yards, they're probably just out, the way this wind is blowing, probably just out of Reese's range.
Yeah, the wind's picked back up just a little bit, and it's kind of a crosswind, but into the face, more or less, of the Cassville kicker if he did have to kick towards this west end zone. It's coming out of the southwest right now.
If the Wildcats are able to pick up, like you say, 8 to 10 yards here, get the ball set, I believe he would be comfortable at that range.
So here we go, 3rd down and 14. Kanan and Freddie in the backfield. Bates rolls to his left, sets up, throws. DJ White may have gotten tangled up, and he stumbled. He's looking for some help from the officiating crew, but this time no flag, and it goes incomplete.
Yeah, had a little window in between the defenders there. Bates dropped it in there nicely. Just really couldn't see how well White was able to come out of his break, but really no chance there to catch that football.
Yeah, he stumbled just a little bit down around the 10-yard line, and that completely disrupted the timing. And it looks like they're going to give Reese an opportunity here as he sets the tee down just inside the 34. So we're going to call it a 43-yard field goal with a little bit of breeze
with
into
no
his face.
wind. That's no problem.
Snap down on the tee. The kick is up. It's got the distance. Does it have the accuracy? Yes, it does.
Wow.
Drake Reese drills it from 43 yards, and Cassville closes it down to a one-point game.
I tell you what, Sammy, that ball's good from 54 probably. He absolutely drilled that football. I wasn't sure with the way that breeze was blowing. Now looking at the other end of the stadium, the flag's hanging still. He may have caught a break there, but he absolutely smoked that football. Plenty of leg and split those uprights from the hash. We're not talking about kicking from the middle of the football field. He's kicking from the right hash.
So with 32 seconds remaining here in the first half, it's 14-13. Seneca with the lead. And the Indians will get another crack at it here before we get to intermission, maybe a couple of snaps, as they will be working on their clock management here to get as many opportunities as possible. We've already seen some quick strike plays from both Cassville and Seneca here in this ball game. First things first, though, Drake Reese will have to kick it away. By the way, that Wildcat field goal brought to you by Crowder College with a satellite campus in Cassville. Find out more online, crowder.edu. And the Wildcat kickoff brought to you by Baywash Car Wash. A clean car is a happy car, and that makes you feel good. Reese, a little pooch kick this time, not giving Wilson or Males a chance to return this one, and a fair catch called for and hauled in by Dane Napier down around the Seneca 25-yard line.
Wildcats not taking any chances on big returns in this situation. Nice call there. Now this defense got 32 seconds to keep the Indians out off the scoreboard.
So Seneca football at their own 26. 32 seconds remaining before half. Split backfield behind Stevens. Lone receiver out wide to the right. And they give the ball to the second man through, and that is Monty Males. And he has stood up at the line of scrimmage and dropped for a half-a-yard loss back to the 25.
Yeah, nice job by Rybert right there. First man to the ball carrier, able to bring him down. Nice job on the defensive line.
So second down and 11 now for the Indians. Clock down to 7 seconds. And it looks like they are just going to let the final seconds tick away and head to the locker room. We have reached intermission here at Earl D. Campbell Stadium in Seneca. As they head off the field, it's Seneca 14, Cassville 13. We'll step aside and be back with the Shoemaker Tire halftime show. You're listening to Big 8 Football here on the Talon Network. Welcome back to Seneca. We are at halftime. It's time now for the Shoemaker Tire Halftime Show. Halftime show brought to you as always by Shoemaker Tire, Highway 76 and 86. They're in Golden, Missouri, serving customers in Southwest Missouri and Northwest Arkansas since 1961. You can find them online at shoemakertire.com. Give them a call at 417-271-3490 or drop by. They're right there on the curve, Highway 86 in Golden, Missouri. Shoemaker Tire bringing you the halftime show. Looking at the scoring summary from tonight's first half of play, Seneca got on the board first with 5:44 left to go in the first quarter. A 14-yard pass from Lance Stevens to Dathan Long. 2-point conversion tacked on. That capped off a 12-play, 80-yard drive that took over 6.5 minutes off the clock, and the Indians jumped out to the early lead. Cassville was able to respond on their first possession of the half. A quick 2-play, 50-yard drive, and it was a 48-yard touchdown pass from Devin Bates to DJ White. They kicked the extra point, made it 8-7. Seneca with the 1-point lead. With 9:37 left to go in the second quarter, a 21-yard field goal from Drake Reese made it 10-8 Cassville as they took their first lead of the half. But then Seneca responded with 8:52 left to go in the second quarter on a 40-yard run by Trey Wilson. The 2-point conversion failed, and it was 14-10 Indians. And then Cassville closes out the scoring in the first half with 32 seconds remaining in the second quarter. This time a 44-yard field goal from Drake Reese, and it closed the gap to 1 point. Seneca on top, 14-13 here at the break. Other scores around the Big Eight. Monette leads Lamar at halftime in Monette, 10-7. Aurora has a 12-7 lead over Rogersville. That game at Kelly Field in Aurora late in the first half. First quarter score, Mount Vernon over Reed Spring, 12-0. Also a score from late in the first quarter. Springfield Catholic and Marshfield tied up at 14 points apiece. Hollister leads McDonald County 7-0, and East Newton has a 20-8 lead over Nevada. That score coming from the second quarter. Here in Seneca, the Indians on top of the Wildcats at halftime, 14-13. Again, tonight's halftime show brought to you by Shoemaker Tire, Highway 86 in Golden, Missouri. They've been taking care of their customers throughout the region for over 50 years. Since 1961, Shoemaker Tire, Mark and the gang will have you up and running when you need a new set of tires in no time flat, or when you have no time for a flat, they can help you out. Shoemaker Tire, Golden, Missouri. We'll step aside and be back with more of the halftime. We've got an extended halftime here tonight as the Seneca Marching Band putting on a performance for the fans in attendance. And we will let that continue and be back with the first half stats. You're listening to Big 8 Football here on the Talon Network. Indians leading over the Cassville Wildcats 14-13. Tonight's halftime show brought to you by Shoemaker Tire, Highway 86 in Golden, Missouri, serving customers in southwest Missouri and northwest Arkansas since 1961. Looking at some of the stats from tonight's first half, Seneca with 21 carries for 143 yards. The Indians completed 2 of 4 passes for 25 yards for a total of 168 yards of offense. The Indians picking up 8 first downs. They did not turn the ball over. They were penalized 4 times for 45 yards, and they punted twice for a 36-yard average. Cassville 17 carries for 53 yards. They were 4 of 8 through the air for 107 yards for a total of 160 yards of offense. Wildcats picked up 7 first downs. They did not turn the ball over. They were penalized 5 times for 45 yards and punted once for a 44-yard average. Seneca led by Monty Males and Trey Wilson. Wilson with 7 carries and 67 yards and a touchdown. Males with 10 carries for 61 yards. And Dathan Long has 2 catches for 25 yards and a touchdown. Cassville Wildcats leading ball carrier was Zach Kanan, as he carried for 39 yards unofficially on 9 carries. Bowen Preddy had 2 carries for 5 yards. Jericho Ferris 2 carries for 5 yards. And DJ White had 1 carry for 7 yards. White also has 2 receptions for 57 yards and a touchdown. And Bowen Preddy has 1 catch for 41 yards. Zach Kanan 1 catch for 9 yards here in the first half. When you look at the stats, very similar, except the way they came about getting the yardage. Cassville with 160 yards of offense, Seneca 168. The majority of Seneca's yardage came on the ground. The majority of Cassville's yardage came through the air. But penalties very even, both with 45 yards worth of penalties. 7 first downs for Cassville, 8 for Seneca. They've only had to punt a total of 3 times here in the first half. It's been mostly what the defenses have been able to do against each other here in the first 2 quarters.
Or not be able
exactly.
to do. Stop the run, and that was one of our keys to victory tonight for the Wildcats, be able to control that line of scrimmage. And at times they have, Sammy, and even on some of these longer runs that this 2-headed attack out of the Seneca backfield has been able to accumulate. The Wildcats have been in position. They just haven't made plays. They haven't made tackles. I guarantee you that's the bulk of the conversation in there at halftime. They need to feel pretty fortunate where they are on the scoreboard right now. I know early in this football game, the Wildcats were able to drive down inside the Indian 5-yard line and came away with 3 points. Anytime you drive it down inside the 5, you sure like to get 6. Hope that doesn't come back to haunt the Wildcats tonight. But right now, basically, you're going to come out after halftime. The Wildcats are going to get the football, and you've basically got a brand-new football game.
Yeah, the way the first quarter started out and was rolling along, I thought we were going to have a game like last year where the 2 teams were going to combine for over 90 points. But then penalty flags started flying all over the place in the second quarter, and that really did not allow either team to get in any flow or rhythm.
No rhythm, penalties like that. 9. What did you have? 9 total penalties
9
in the
total,
the first half.
5 for Cassville, 4 for Seneca. And most of those in the second quarter.
Yeah, and you know, granted, I'm sure all of those penalties were legit, but boy, it sure makes it tough, as you said, to get in a rhythm and run your offense. So hopefully both sides are able to clean that up here in this second half.
Well, an extended halftime here tonight at Earl E. Campbell Stadium as the youth football program at Seneca is now being recognized as well, along with the youth cheerleaders. So we'll take another break, let you hear from our sponsors of tonight's broadcast, and then be back as we get closer to the start of the second half. Seneca leads at 14-13 here at intermission. Again, tonight's halftime show brought to you by Shoemaker Tire on Highway 86 in Golden, Missouri. Find them online, shoemakertire.com. You can call 271-3490. Over 50 years of taking care of their customers like no one else. You're listening to Big 8 Football here on the Talon Network. Back at Seneca, we are at halftime, 14-13. The Indians with the lead over the Cassville Wildcats. Some other scores around the Big Eight have now gotten to half. We talked about Monette leading over Lamar 10-7 at half, but now Aurora and Rogersville over at Kelly Field and Aurora have reached halftime. The Hound Dogs leading the Wildcats 12-7. Another game that has reached halftime, East Newton leading Nevada 20-8 at the break. And one game has already advanced into the second half. Mount Vernon at Reed Spring. The Mountaineers over the Wolves 18-0. And that game has started the third quarter. We've still got about 3 or 4 minutes before we start the third quarter here tonight at Earl D. Campbell Stadium, Tom Hodge Field. So we will step aside one more time, let you hear from our sponsors, and then be back with the start of the second half. You're listening to Big Eight Conference Football here on the Talon Network. Sammy Clapper and Jeremy Marple back here at Earl D. Campbell Stadium, Tom Hodge Field, just about ready to start the second half. As we head to the third quarter, Seneca leads it over Cassville 14-13. Tonight's third quarter brought to you by J&M Pallet Company, where with over 15 years of experience, they specialize in new, used, and custom-built pallets. They're backing the Wildcats all the way In God we trust is their motto at J&M Pallet Company. Call 847-6732. That's 847-6732. Tonight's broadcast brought to you in part by Tomlin's Jewelry and Gifts on the northeast corner of the square in Cassville. Visit them when you are looking for a special jewelry item or gift. They've been doing it right for over 55 years. Cassville will receive the football to start the second half. Garrett Babbage kick it away, and DJ White back deep for the Wildcats. Indians with a 1-point lead and a squib kick for the Indians. Second row comes up and scoops up the loose football, and the Wildcats will take over at their own 38-yard line, as it was coming up. Spencer Moeller diving on the football and securing it for the Wildcats.
Tough play to make right there, bounding football on the ground. Moeller, nice job to corral it, get on top of that ball, and give his offense a chance here.
So the Wildcats with it at their own 38. Good starting field possession here in the third quarter. Cassville trailing by 1. High formation behind Bates. They send receivers right and left. They give it off to the tailback, and that is Kanan. Kanan breaking tackles. He's out across the 45, breaks another tackle, and takes it into Seneca territory, down to the Indian 49, and picks up a first down. The Wildcat first down brought to you by Sears Hometown Store. Lawnmowers, fitness equipment, brand name appliances, power tools, and much more. You'll find it all at Sears Hometown Store in Cassville.
Wildcats line up Olberts as the fullback, and Kanan dotting the I right there, coming downhill. Once again, running the ball very hard.
He picks up 12 yards and a first down for the Wildcats. The ball resting at the 50-yard line. Kanan gets the call again. Gets by one man, but then a couple of other defenders come in to stop him after a 2-yard pickup down to the Seneca 48.
We haven't seen a lot of Bowen Preddy tonight. I know he was a little dinged up from last Friday night. Maybe still feeling some effects from that. Certainly something for not seeing him on the field. And we hope that everything is okay with Bowen Preddy.
So second down and 8 for the Wildcats, just inside Seneca territory. Indians with a 1-point lead early on here in the second half. Bates rolling to his left, launches a pass. He's got White downfield, comes back to the football, dives in and makes the catch, and we've got a flag back at the quarterback, and it may be another late hit against the Indians.
That's going to be the third personal foul roughing the passer call. Bates keeps getting up, but I tell you what, he's taking a beating back there, and a great job adjusting to the football by DJ White. Bates had all kinds of pressure in his face, was able to get rid of the ball. White, great adjustment, able to stop, come back, get inside the corner, diving to make that catch. Big catch and throw with a personal foul on top of it.
They spot him down at the 27-yard line and a first down. And now they're going to tack on the penalty at the tail end of the play, and this is going to move the ball all the way inside the 15. They take it down to the 13-yard line.
First down, Wildcats.
So first and 10 for Cassville, running the football. The Wildcats give it to Kanan. Kanan dragging tacklers along as he pushes his way inside the 5 and is stopped at about the 2, it looks like, maybe 3.
We've got a Wildcat down here. Don't have a number just yet.
And they do put it at the 2-yard line after a gain of 11 for Kanan.
Little counter play to Kanan, straight through that line of scrimmage, right at the defense. Once again, very hard runner. Held up just short, but trying to get a number of this Wildcat that's down. They're looking at that, looks like the right knee.
It'll be first and goal Cassville from the 2. Wildcat first down brought to you by Sears Hometown Store. You'll find everything you need for your home and outdoor space, and all at great prices. Their knowledgeable and friendly staff can guide you through your projects and purchases. Cassville Sears Hometown Store, 99 Highway 37 South in Cassville. Tonight's third quarter brought to you by J&M Pallet Company. Remember, during the third quarters of your life, praise God whether you win or lose and give him the victory. Phone Jeff for all your pallet needs at J&M Pallet Company, 847-6732. Not quite 2 minutes gone here in the second half. Cassville down by a point, but the Wildcats have it first and goal inside the 5.
Starting left tackle, I believe, for the Wildcats. See the tackle or the guard, Sammy. Regardless, starting offensive lineman, the Wildcats have some depth in the skill positions. They're not very deep along that offensive line, and he is a starting left tackle. So as the football goes, the injuries will happen, and somebody's going to have to come off that sideline and step up and make some plays for this football team.
So here we go, 1st and goal from just inside the 3. They've got it spotted about the 2-yard line. We've got Olberts and Kanan in the backfield. That's a couple of big boys back there. They give it to Kanan, and he powers his way off right tackle, touchdown Cassville.
Kanan, he's been a workhorse tonight, Sammy, taking a lot of contact, and he gets down behind those pads pretty well. This time taking 2 Indian defenders on right at the goal line into the end zone. Nice job there, Zach Kanan.
Kanan now unofficially 66 yards on 13 carries and a touchdown as the Wildcats regain the lead 19-14 with 10:06 left to go here in the 3rd quarter. And it looks like the Wildcats are going to line up to go for 2. Seneca's been going for 2 a lot. Cassville going to try to do the same. Kanan and Olbert still in the backfield. They bring DJ White, start to bring him from right to left. Now they shift him back to the right side. And they run the ball that direction, but Bates wanting to throw, tucks it and throws underneath, a sliding reception, and it's good between a couple of defenders for DJ White. The 2-point conversion successful.
What a play. Bates rolling to his right, threw it where only his man could get it. Looked like it was going to be a little short. Great job again, DJ White sliding to the ground, making the reception, getting this back to a 7-point ball game.
Wildcat touchdown brought to you by Willis Insurance for auto, home, health, life, and commercial insurance. See the folks at Willis Insurance on the square in Cassville and in the Shell Knob Bridgeway Plaza. Stop by and get a quote today. 21-14, Cassville regains the lead here early on in the 2nd half. And hey, we've got our giveaway for tonight. Let this slip through halftime and going to do it right now. First person through on the phone lines, 489-2277. That's 489-2277. 489-2277. Cardinals won again today over the Cubs, a game heard here on the Talon Network stations. In the National League Central, the Redbirds hanging on to that lead. Well, I've got 4 tickets to the final game of the regular season. Cardinals-Cubs, Sunday, September the 29th. It's a 2:15 first pitch from Busch Stadium. If you would like to go to that final regular season game, Cardinals and the Cubs in St. Louis, 4 tickets, and all you need to do is be the first person through on the phone lines, 489-2277. That's 489-2277. 4 tickets to the Cardinals and the Cubs, Sunday, September the 29th at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. A short kick by the Wildcats, fielded by one of the upmen for the Indians, and that was Garrett Hembry, hauling it down for Seneca, and the Indians will take over at their own 35.
Well, I'll tell you, Sammy, that Cardinal game could have some big-time implications. It could be quite a playoff atmosphere up there.
That is definitely true. Cardinals playing 4 games in Chicago this weekend, and then they close out the regular season with 3 games at home. And those 4 tickets for that final home game, Sunday, September the 29th, there at Busch Stadium. Again, 489-2277. It's the number to call. First person through gets those 4 tickets. 1st and 10, Seneca. Man comes in motion, passes through behind Stevens, and that was the receiver. And Stevens throws that direction that he just went, trying to go underneath to Dathan Long.
Good
And
grief.
another flag, and here we go. The parade of laundry that got started in the 2nd quarter is looking like it's going to continue here in the 2nd half.
They say the Wildcat linebacker got an arm in there a little bit early. And the Wildcats will go from forcing an incomplete pass to the Indians gaining 15 yards, moving into Wildcat territory.
So they'll move it down to the Cassville 49 after the 15-yard penalty marked off. Cassville now 60 yards of penalties on 6 flags. Seneca has 60 yards of penalties against them on 5 penalty flags. 1st and 10, Indians at the Cassville 49. Big tight end Jacob Sampson switches ends from right to left. They give the ball to Males. Males running hard inside the 45, takes it down to the 42, picks up 7 yards.
Males does such a good job of making himself small at the point of attack as he went off left tackle right there. he tucked right up against that left tackle's hip, was able to squeeze through just on the edge and pick up a nice gain on first down.
So to bring up second down and a short 3 yards. Cassville staying with the four-man front. Stevens gives it off to Wilson this time. Wilson gets a kick-out block from Males, and he has the first down as he takes it down to the 38-yard line and picks up 4 yards.
Nice block out in front. Wilson cutting off that block, brought down at the end of the play by Kanan. Short gain by the Indians, but it looks like they will move the chains.
So it continues to be that 1-2 punch of Wilson and Males. Males unofficially 68 yards rushing. Wilson now with 71 yards on the ground. 21-14, Cassville with the lead. 9:15 left to go in the third quarter. Seneca driving the ball once again. Stevens, quick handoff, gives it to Wilson, and Wilson takes a lick and hangs onto the football at the 35 after picking up nearly 3 yards.
Kanan once again not only running the ball hard, he plays middle linebacker on this football team as well. He's doing a pretty good job, certainly here in this third quarter.
Tonight's third quarter brought to you by J&M Pallet Company. They repair used pallets, build and design new and custom pallets. During this games and the games to come, Jeff reminds team members that through God all things are possible. Phone 847-6732. Second down and 7. Running the option. Stevens pitches the ball back to Wilson and back into the legs of the Indian running back is Jericho Ferris, and he drops him for a loss.
Yeah, nice job. Indians trying to run that option game to the short side of the field and right over in front of that Wildcat sideline. Ferris creeping up from that safety position into the backfield, into the legs of the ball carrier to bring him down. Big play right there for this Wildcat defense.
It's a loss of nearly 4, and it'll bring up third down and 11. Seneca was 0 for 3 back in the first half on third down conversion attempts. This will be their first try on third down here in the second half, trailing 21-14 with 8 minutes left to play in the third quarter. Dathan Long comes out wide to the left, Kyle Simpson to the right. They also line up a man in the slot that side as well. That's the short side of the field. Stevens from the shotgun. Looks down to the short side, no one open yet. Now he's going to go deep. He launches it, and he's got a man open up in the air, and coming down with the football is Preston Armstrong for the touchdown.
Great arm strength right there by Stevens. Had all kinds of time to throw the football. And Armstrong able to get behind the secondary, leapt in the air into the end zone. Big play by the Seneca Indians getting behind that Wildcat secondary.
Second touchdown pass of the night for Stevens. He put that one right on the money to Armstrong. 39 yards and a score for Seneca. And they are within an extra point try of tying the game. And it looks like they're going to try to retake the lead as they line up to go for 2. We've got whistles now as players moving around on both sides of the football. And a timeout called by Seneca. 7:43 left to go here in the third quarter. Both teams have scored here in the second half. Cassville had the lead temporarily, but now Seneca trying to take it away from them. It's 21-20, Cassville on top, pending the extra point try. And the Indians are looking to go for 2. A 6-play, 65-yard drive, that 39-yard scoring strike from Stevens to Armstrong. Coach McFarland gathering his troops on the sidelines, trying to draw up a play to add 2 points to their total. Coach Parnell on the other side trying to encourage his defense to keep that from happening.
Wildcats were getting some pressure, forcing Stevens out of the pocket. He was leaking to his right over near that Wildcat sideline. Able to plant that back foot and step into a throw. And just a great catch at the end of the throw there by Armstrong. That's a bad feeling as a defensive back, Sammy, when the ball's in the air and you turn around and the man that you're not supposed to let behind you is 5 yards behind you.
So both teams back out on the field. Here we go. The Indians to try for 2 to try to regain the lead here early on in the second half. One back in the backfield behind Stevens. Fakes the handoff to him, looking to throw. Rolling to his left, under duress, throws. The pass is incomplete, and we've got a flag. fact, we've got 2 flags.
Stevens forced out of the pocket to his left. Had a Wildcat defender wrapped around him as he delivered the football.
We've already had 11 penalties, and those were just the ones that were accepted. There's been a couple declined. And that's not including the flags that's on the ground right now. We've got a holding call and an ineligible receiver. So penalties both ways. And we will retry. So an ineligible receiver for the Indians and a holding call against Cassville. The penalty's offset, so the Indians will try for 2 once again. Stevens brings the play in from the sidelines. Up to the line of scrimmage come the Indians. So another opportunity to regain the lead for Seneca. Split backfield this time. Males and Wilson. They give it to Wilson, and Wilson is hit, and he is not going to make it into the end zone.
Yeah, nice job right there.
So the 2-point conversion attempt fails, and Cassville hangs on to a 1-point lead, 21-20, with 7:43 left to go third quarter. Tonight's broadcast brought to you by Sports World on the Square in Cassville. Screen printing, embroidery, sporting goods. Call 847-5366. Rachel Roark is the winner of the Cardinal tickets, so congratulations to Rachel. We appreciate her listening and hope you have fun at that Cardinals-Cubs game. Coming up the final game of the regular season there at Busch Stadium. So the Indians now will kick it away. Garrett Babbitt tees it up the 40-yard line. Not quite halfway through the third quarter. Cassville on top, 21-20. Tonight's third quarter brought to you by J&M Pallet Company, where pallets are customized to fit your needs. Their motto is "In God We Trust." Jeff and Avid Wildcat supporters just a call away at 847-6732. DJ White, Jericho Ferris back at their own 15-yard line. And the kick is a bouncing kick down the middle of the field. Diving on it out around the 36-yard line is Drake Reese. And the Wildcats once again will have some good starting field position.
And back and forth football game. If you're just looking at the score, you think we've got a good game going, and we do. But I'll tell you what, a lot of laundry on the field tonight, Sammy. Made this game drag somewhat. First half, specifically second quarter, took a long time to get through. Starting to see some of that here now in the third.
And the officials take a timeout to allow the players to hydrate a little bit, get a drink and cool off just a little bit. Again, this is a mandatory rule for the first 3 weeks of the regular season. It does not have to carry over into week 4 and beyond unless the weather and the officials indicate otherwise. And we've got cool temperatures tonight, but as we said, it is a very humid night. Rain in the area earlier today has left behind some very humid conditions. So players the coaches and the officials making sure everyone gets plenty of fluids tonight so we don't have any dehydration or cramping issues, and we have not had any of that up to this point, so everything's going along okay so far. And the rain has stayed away too, and it looks like we're going to have a little bit of a window here before the rain moves back in for the weekend. We're very thankful for that.
The officials may be needing to ice their arms as well. As many flags as they've thrown out here tonight.
So the Wildcats up to the line at their own 36, 1st and 10. They scored their first possession of the second half. This is their second possession. The ball is loose, and Devin Bates quickly reverses his steps and dives on the loose football and avoids the turnover back at the 33-yard line.
Scary play right there. Heads up by Bates, falling on a loose ball.
Couldn't tell whether it was a bad exchange between quarterback and running back or whether the running back just had the ball poked free. Maybe he never got full control of it, but whatever happened, the ball ended up on the ground, and Bates was able to keep it for the Wildcats. Now he's looking to throw on second down. Again, the pass is tipped. It's a flutter ball out to the 40, and it's gathered in by DJ White. DJ White kept his eyes on the football, came back, and hauled it in for a reception and a pickup of about 5 or 6 yards.
A scary moment there for as a wide receiver. That ball's tipped and hanging in the air a long time. You know the defense is coming. You might as well catch it because you're going to get hit anyway. Nice job there by DJ White.
So 3rd down and nearly 6 to go for Cassville. They were 2 for 5 on 3rd down conversion tries back in the first half. Seneca showing blitz. They come up with 8 guys in the box. And here comes the pressure. The screen pass, it's tipped, and it goes off the fingertips of DJ White, incomplete, and it'll bring up 4th down. Well, they had it set up, but Devin Bates, under tremendous pressure, had to unload the football quickly, and it goes off the fingertips and incomplete.
Well, the Wildcats were successful running the bubble screen last week against the Cubs. For some big gains on 3rd down, big plays, moving the chains tonight. Ball just squeezed right through White's fingertips.
So 4th down for Cassville, and Drake Reese in to kick it away. Monty Males back at his own 20-yard line. Another high kick. This one gets up in the wind. Males gets away from it. It bounces at the 25, takes a big high hop sideways, and goes out of bounds at about the 24. Now one official saying back at the 23, so that's where Seneca will take over. So a 37-yard kick, no return. And the Indians will have it. 1st and 10 at their own 23-yard line. They quickly come up to the line of scrimmage, trying to catch Cassville's defense off guard a little bit. Stevens hands the ball off to the 2nd man. That's Wilson. Wilson hit as he turns the corner. As coming up is Bowen Preddy. Wilson dives out across the 25 to the 27 and picks up 4 yards.
One of the things you notice watching this Seneca football team, the 2 very talented backs in the backfield, but when one number is called, the other's usually doing a real nice job of getting a lead block on a linebacker, as we saw right there.
Under 6 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Cassville leading 21-20. Seneca with the football inside their own 30-yard line. Cassville with a 5-man front this time, and they hand the ball off to Wilson once again. Trey Wilson, a quick hitter across the 30, out to the 31, picks up 4 more yards, and it'll bring up 3rd down and short.
Indians taking their time. Now they're going to line up quickly. They don't huddle very far off the football, Sammy.
Yeah, when they snap or break huddle, all they have to do is turn around. The center just spins around, and he's on the football. So 3rd down and 2 for the Indians. Split backfield behind Stevens. Cassville showing blitz. They do not bring the linebackers. Handoff off right tackle. And that time Trey Wilson gets stacked up just as he gets to the line of scrimmage. Fights forward for a yard, but it'll bring up 4th and 1.
4th down in their own territory. See what the Indians decide to do right here. Got about 2 feet, maybe a foot and a half to pick up here for the 1st down.
4.5 left to go here in the 3rd quarter. Cassville leading 21-20. Big 4th down play right here. 4th and less than a yard to go for the Indians, and they're lining up to go for it. Cassville will have to be disciplined, not jump off sides. I'm sure the Indians will try to draw them off. Stevens takes the snap, and it appears the center may be moved too quick, which is very unusual. No, they called the timeout. So
Indians want to talk about this one. This is a big play in this game, especially in this part of the football field.
we had some movement on the interior of the Seneca line, but they got a timeout called, and not for sure if there would have been a penalty or not, but it was a weird look from the center because as he went to snap the football, he moves forward, but the ball never left the ground. It stayed between his legs,
right.
So that was kind of odd looking, but however it happens. We go over some scores around the Big 8. Monette over Lamar, 21-7 in the 4th quarter. Rogersville has come from behind and now taken the lead over Aurora, 13-12. Mount Vernon on top of Reed Spring, 18-0. Catholic and Marshfield tied at 22. Hollister over McDonald County, 20-6, and it's a 20-8 lead for East Newton over Nevada. So 4th and less than a yard, and this time they line up to punt. Cassville doesn't send anybody back. The ball bounces at the 35, takes a Seneca roll down inside the 25 to the 24. Good punt that time by the Indians.
Indians electing to punt that football away. Short yardage situation, but in that area of the football field, it's to be really tough to make that call. And if you're not successful, the Wildcats are deep in your territory to start their drive.
44-yard kick. No return, and Cassville takes over at their own 24.
Wildcats need to put something together right here, Sammy.
Just over 4 minutes left to play in the third quarter. Cassville leading 21-20. And the Wildcats give the ball up the middle to Kanan, and Kanan is hit once, twice, and a third time, hangs on to the football, and picks up 2 yards out to the 26.
These Indian linebackers are making good reads right now. They're getting to Kanan just through the line of scrimmage, and he's taking on that contact. But he's taking some punishment here in this football game.
So 2nd down and 8 now facing the Wildcats at their own 26-yard line. Down to 3:40 left to go in the third. 21-20 lead for Cassville. Twin receivers to the left. Lone man out wide to the right. High formation behind Bates. He pitches the ball back to Preddy. Kanan leading the way. Preddy trying to get to the edge, and the defensive back over there got around Kanan and wrapped up Preddy before he could get to the corner, and it's going to bring up 3rd down.
Preddy just doesn't have that extra gear right now. Normally he's able to take that and show that burst of speed and get to the edge. Dealing with something possibly from last week. Just really doesn't have that top gear tonight.
So 3rd down and 9. Bates this time from the shotgun brings White in motion. Inside handoff goes to him. White trying to get to the sidelines, and he has dropped shy of the 30-yard line. Again, Seneca's defense flying to the football, and it's a gain of only 3, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Wildcats going to punt the football away here. White trying to use that speed. Had a kick-out block initially, but the linebacking core from the backside just flowing along with the play, able to get to White before he could really get going downfield.
Inside 2.5 now left to go third quarter, and the Wildcats forced to punt. Males back at his own 35, awaiting the kick of Reese. Low snap. Reese picks it up, gets away a good kick. This one he gets a nice leg into it, drives it over the head of Males, bounces at the 25 and goes out of bounds along the Seneca sideline. Looks like they're going to spot it out of play back at the 21.
Oh, nice punt. Nice punt right there by Reese over the head of the return man down that Seneca sideline. Wildcats hoped for a little better roll. Ball kicked directly out of bounds, but again, Wildcats able to flip the field right here.
Ends up being a 51-yard punt and no return. 1st and 10 Indians at the 21. Unbalanced to the right side. Stevens runs the ball that way. And it looks like Stevens is able to only pick up a couple of yards out to the 22.5-yard line. It'll bring up 2nd down and long. .90 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Stevens this time looking to throw. Has time. Launches it deep down the field. One-on-one coverage. Cooper back there, and he dives in and picks it off as he takes it away from Sebastian Middick back at the 33-yard line.
Great play by Cooper right there. Stride for stride with the wide receiver. The ball thrown deep downfield. Cooper diving play, able to come up with that interception. Huge play for this Cassville defense. Great job right there.
First turnover of the night, and it comes on a interception by Brett Cooper. They had one-on-one coverage, and they were going long, and Cooper was able to get in and take it away. So 1st and 10 Cassville at their own 33. Still a minute 25 left to go here in the third quarter. Cassville leading 21-20. Bates pitches the ball to Preddy. Preddy gives it to Reese. Reese on a a Statue of Liberty style play, and they tried to get DJ White going deep. He had gotten behind the defensive secondary, but the pass was off the mark.
He had a step, maybe a step and a half. The ball thrown a little too far out in front. Wildcats dialing up a little trickery right there, a little double reverse pass.
And I said Reese, was that Barbie that tried, the backup quarterback. It was either 12 or 13. Didn't quite catch the number. Apologize for that. Either way, on second down, Cassville running the football, and they move it out to the 35, picks up 2 yards, and it'll bring up third down.
I believe you're right. Barbie made the throw. Barbie, watch him in warm-ups. He throws a nice deep ball. That one came out of his hand just a little bit funny, kind of fluttered on him. White not able to run underneath it, unfortunately for the Wildcats. Right here, Wildcats have a big third down facing them.
Of course, Barbie has a big cast and a wrap on that left wrist, the one he injured, but he throws with his right hand. Bates on third down, rolling to his left, launches down the field again. He's got Cooper, and this time Cooper has it go off his fingertips. He couldn't haul that one in. Defensive back there on the play was Monty Males.
Cooper had a step. Again, nice throw, rolling to his left. Bates able to get rid of the deep ball there. Just a little long on the play. A couple big passing plays in this series for the Wildcats, incomplete. And they're going to have to give it back here.
So 30 seconds left to go, third quarter. Fourth down and nearly 7 to go. Cassville again going to have to punt. Males back at his own 25 again. High snap this time. Pressure coming. Reese is able to get the kick away, rugby style, and it takes the Cassville roll into Seneca territory, but it's still going to be a short kick as it's downed at the Seneca 41.
Now big pressure. The Indians watching that rugby style kick. This time they bring the pressure to that side. Reese lucky to get the ball off, and I believe you're right. I believe it was tipped, and the Indians going to have some nice field position right here.
Ends up being only a 24-yard kick. The Indians first and 10 at their own 41. Closing seconds of the third quarter. Cassville leading 21-20. Split backfield behind Stevens. Stevens going to run it himself, and he is wrapped up and brought to the ground by a couple of the Cassville defensive linemen.
Kreitz right there, big sophomore defensive tackle, able to wrap his arms around the quarterback and bring him right down. Nice play.
No gain on the play. Second down and 10. Clock rolling inside 5 seconds, and that'll be the final play of quarter number 3. As we head to the final 12 minutes here from Seneca, the Wildcats lead over the Indians 21-20. We'll be back with quarter number 4. You're listening to Big 8 Conference Football here on the Talon Network. Cassville with the ball at their own 41, and Drake Reese in to punt it away. 5:54 left to play. Seneca's going to get the ball back. Monty Males back to receive. Kick down the right hash. Bounces at the 30. Rolls down to the 25, and then picked up as it backs up to the 26.
Wildcats just have not been able to get a roll on a punt tonight. The ball's checking up or bouncing straight out to the side. No return. Wildcat defense going to come on the field just under 6 minutes to go in this game. No time like right now to have a big stand.
33-yard kick, no return for the Indians. 1st and 10 Seneca at their own 26. Cassville with a 21-20 lead, and we've got an official's timeout. The timeout on the field brought to you by Superior Metal. For a steel building, shop, or roof that will defend against the elements, look no further than Superior Metal Sales. Find them on Highway 76 south of Cassville. Tonight's 4th quarter brought to you by the Barbecue Station. The best Texas-style barbecue served this side of Dallas, right here in the Ozarks. Bring your family and friends and enjoy great barbecue at 900 Main on the north side of the Cassville Square. Call them for all your catering needs at 847-0470. That's 847-0470. The Barbecue Station bringing you tonight's 4th quarter. Still 5:42 left to go in this 4th quarter of play from Seneca, and the Wildcats leading the Indians 21-20. It's been a tight ball game throughout. Both teams answering the other's attempt at a knockout blow. A couple of big field goals for Cassville back in the first half kept them in the game. Both teams have added touchdowns here in the second half, but those coming on the first possession for each team in the second half. Since then, it's been all defense. Only one extended drive for either team, and that was for Cassville. That last one that started back at their own 15, but then they had to punt the ball away. The ball is handed off to Males, a big hole up the middle. Monty Males out across the 30, across the 35 to the 36, and picks up a first down, and a flag is thrown at the tail end of the play.
Let's see what this is.
Officials conferring right at the spot of the football, the 36-yard line. Now we've got another official coming in, talking with the referee. And now he signals personal foul against the Indians. Again, the chippiness comes to play, and we've seen a lot of that tonight. And a nice run by Males is going to be negated by the penalty.
Not sure what the call was. Looked like a late block maybe on the play. But nonetheless, going to move the Indians back, give the Wildcats some more breath right here.
So 15 yards marked off from the spot of the foul, so Males will get credit for the 10-yard pickup, but then those 10 yards will be wiped away. The first down, which appeared to be picked up by Males, is taken away as well. And they move the ball all the way back to the 21-yard line. .536 left to play. Cassville leading 21-20. Stevens takes the snap, hands off, then it's pitched back to him. And he goes deep to Simpson, and the ball is incomplete, in and out of the hands of Kyle Simpson at the Cassville 35-yard line, as Simpson nearly came up with an unbelievable catch between a couple of Cassville defenders.
Little flea flicker, we don't see that very often, but the ball was handed off, pitched back to Stevens. Stevens allowing his receiver to get downfield, threw the ball a long way down there. DJ White, also Jericho Ferris back there. White looked like he was able to get a hand in there to disrupt things. Big play.
Oh, we've seen about everything tonight. Little flea flicker, a little double reverse halfback pass. 2nd down and 10. Pass is nearly intercepted, but Dathan Long takes it away. He is tripped up at midfield. And if not for the effort of Jacob Oberts, Long may have taken that one to the distance.
Wildcat defender broke on that football. Looked like Bowen Preddy breaking, trying for the pick, not able to get there. Long catches the football, turns around, and you're right, Olbert's by a shoestring, able to bring Long to the ground.
So on 1st and 10, the Indians pitch the ball out to Trey Wilson. Wilson back to his old tricks of the first half, running through would-be tacklers, and Wilson takes it down close to the 30-yard line. Another first down for the Indians.
Momentum swing right now towards the Indians. Big pass play, physical run, breaking 2 Wildcat defender tackles. Wildcats need to settle down right here and get back to playing defense.
Wilson now approaching 100 yards rushing on the night. 1st and 10 Seneca at the Cassville 31. Stevens this time from the shotgun. Trip receivers to his left. He's looking that direction. Throws to the guy way out wide, and that is Armstrong. And Preston Armstrong makes the catch, fights his way down the sidelines, and gets very close to another Indian first down.
Made the catch and able to drag a Wildcat defender right to the stick, and it is a first down.
Himself this time. Tiptoes his way back and forth, trying to find a hole over there on the left side. Moves it inside the 20 down to about the 18. Maybe the 17. Looks like they do spot it down at the 18 for a pickup of 3. 2nd down and 7.
Clock ticks under 4 minutes to go.
Trip receivers to the right side. One of those lined up in the slot. Stevens pitches the ball out to Wilson. Wilson's got blockers. He's at the 10. Cuts it back the sideline. Stays in bounds at the 5. And is finally knocked out of play. Well, under most circumstances, running back would just be content to go out of bounds, but Wilson was not. And he is able to pick up an extra 2 or 3 yards, and it's finally batted out of play at the 6.
And the Indians rushing up to the line of scrimmage, trying to catch the Wildcats off guard here, not give them any room to breathe.
That's a gain of 12, and it puts Wilson over 100 yards rushing on the night. 1st and goal from the 6. They give it to Males this time. Males ducks his shoulder pads and takes on contact, and he is stopped at the 2.
Met right there by Preddy. Big lick delivered by both players.
3:19 left to play. Cassville leading by 1. Seneca knocking on the door. 2nd and goal from the 2. Trying to regain the lead. Both teams have had the lead multiple times tonight. They split the backfield of Wilson and Males. Bring the tight end in close. Stevens going to keep it himself, trying to surge in behind the offensive line. We've still got no signal, and now we have the whistle, and he is down at the 1. And it'll bring up 3rd down.
3rd down at the 1. You got to think the Indians are going to, it's 4-down territory from right here. I don't know what kind of kicker that they have, but from the 1-yard line, you got to think that they're going to try to punch it in with out of the next 2 plays.
We're down to 2.5 minutes left to play. Clock is running, and Seneca going to take advantage of that with still 15 seconds on the play clock. Going to take away as much time from Cassville as possible if they're able to score here. Stevens under centers. 3rd and goal from the 1. Gives it to Males, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown.
Methodical drive down the field for the Indians. 2 minutes and 13 seconds remain. Plenty of time for the Wildcats to make something happen.
So Seneca is back on top, 26-21 with 2:13 left to go. If they convert the 2 points, it'll be a 7-point lead. And then Cassville would have to go for 2 for a win if they're able to score. Touchdown extra point would only tie it. But we'll see what happens here. Stevens down the line, throws the pass to Wilson. Wilson breaks a tackle, and he's in for the 2 points.
Story of the night for this Wildcat defense, just broken tackles, just not able to wrap up and stop the Seneca ball carriers.
So it's a 7-point lead for Seneca with 2:13 left to go in the 4th quarter. 28-21, Indians on top of the Wildcats. Tonight's fourth quarter brought to you by the Barbecue Station, where one bite will put them at the top of your list of favorite places to eat. Best Texas-style barbecue this side of Dallas, right here in the Ozarks. The Barbecue Station, 900 Main on the north side of the Cassville Square. Call them at 847-0470. Well, a knockdown drag out here tonight with a lot of penalty flags in between has come down to this final 2 minutes of the football game.
Absolutely. The ball's in the Wildcats' hands right here. And really, they're in this situation. I harp on it a little. I've been harping on it tonight, but it comes down to tackling. The Wildcats have not tackled well, and they find themselves behind on the scoreboard.
DJ White, Jericho Ferris back at their own 20, awaiting the kick of Babbitt. Last couple of kicks have been short kicks. You wouldn't think he would want to do that this time. Make Cassville have to move it as much as possible, but it is a squib kick, and the Wildcats dive on it at the 34 as Brett Cooper secures it for Cassville. So 66 yards away with 2 minutes and 12 seconds remaining. And actually, they give him a pretty good spot. They put it at the 35. So, $65 yards away. Twin receivers, right and left. Bates from the shotgun. Throws underneath to Preddy. Preddy is wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage and loses a yard.
Just trying to throw a little swing pass. Preddy lined up in the slot out there, trying to get him the football in space.
Second down and 11. Low snap this time. Bates launches it. He's got Cooper one-on-one out here at the edge, and the pass hits the defensive back right between the 3 and the 5. That was Kyle Simpson.
Simpson, great position right there. Had himself between the football and Cooper. There is no face guarding call in high school football anymore. He never had to turn and try to find the ball. He just ran right with Cooper. Cooper was not able to adjust and get back to the ball.
Well, here we go. Third down and 11 with 1:46 left to go. Seneca leading by 7. The Indians rushing only 3. Bates rolling to his left, fires a pass, and it's off the hands of DJ White, and he slipped, trying to stop out at the 45-yard line, which is right where he needed to be to pick up the first down, and it brings up fourth down for the Wildcats.
Yeah, just was not able to stay on his feet, trying to hit the brakes, come back to the football. It'll bring up a fourth down right here that could be the game.
So fourth down and 11. Seneca, who had been stacking guys in the box all night long, now only rushed 3 as they drop 6 players back deep. Bates steps up in the pocket. He's going to run. He's got room, and he's got the first down out to the 48-yard line before he is knocked out of play.
Heads-up play right there by Bates, senior quarterback, dropping back. Real nice job of not trying to force a football there. Saw all kinds of room out in front. Took off with the football, got out of bounds, picked up a big first down there.
Wildcat first down brought to you by Sears Hometown Store. Quality brand name appliances like Kenmore, Samsung, LG, Whirlpool, GE, and much more. 99 Highway 37 South in Cassville. The Wildcats are still alive, 1st and 10 at their own 48 with 1:33 left to go, down by 7. Twin receivers, right and left for Cassville. Bates back from the shotgun. Inside handoff goes to Kane, and the ball is loose. There's a scramble at the Seneca 48. Who has the football? Still no signal, and it looks like Cassville has recovered.
Able to get on the ball. Wow. Wow, big play right there.
That was either Wesley Stockton or I didn't check the other number. It looked like it was Nate Boley that dove on that football and kept it for the Wildcats. So it's a pickup of 4 yards. It'll bring up 2nd down and 6. Bates under pressure, trying to throw the screen. They get it complete to White. White hit as he gets to the 43. And now we have a flag downfield, and White is dropped back at the 44.
See what the penalty is here in the secondary. White very close to that first down.
And it goes against Seneca.
Just a couple of guys getting into a little skirmish way away from the play.
Yeah, that was Cooper and Simpson about 10 yards downfield. Got into a little pushy-shovey match, and the Seneca player gets called for a little extracurricular activity. And hey, we might as well have another flag and a penalty marked off here in the final 60 seconds. It moves the ball all the way down to the 28-yard line. We've got another flag back here at the 45. So they've marked off the penalty against Seneca. And now we have unsportsmanlike against Cassville, so this will take it back the other way.
Trying to figure out so both players involved in the scrum were flagged.
Weird part is, why did they have to assess the penalties? Why couldn't they just say they offset and just, gotcha, dead ball, okay. Happened after the play was over. So there we go. So Cassville has to get all the way down inside the 20 to pick up a first down again, but they do have first down at the Seneca 42-yard line. After the two penalties were marked off, we still have 1:06 left to go here in the football game. Seneca leading 28-21.
Coach Parnell on the sideline trying to get an explanation about the yardage marker. With double penalties.
Coach Parnell's out to the numbers on the Cassville side. Coach McFarland out to the numbers on the Seneca side, wanting to know what's going on out there between the hash marks. Now they get the yardage markers reset, and it's 1st and 10 Cassville at the Seneca 42.5-yard line. Cassville down by 7. The clock is moving once again. Inside a minute to go. Bates rolls to his right, under pressure, throws under pressure, and the pass is incomplete. DJ White trying to tightrope the sidelines. He could not stay in bounds, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
Big pressure coming from the backside. Bates had to release out of that pocket and throw on the run, trying to hit White down that sideline. Just a little bit too far away.
So 2nd down and 10 for Cassville. .54 seconds remaining. The ball at the Seneca 42. Bates steps up in the pocket, lets it go down the middle of the field, trying to find Preddy in traffic, and the pass is incomplete. And that will bring up 3rd down.
Preddy again just not able to get that 4th gear tonight. And that's tough on your timing when you're used to throwing to somebody. They're running a certain way and they're just not able to get there. Ball's overthrown.
So here we go again, 3rd down and 10 for Cassville. They've already had 2 big 3rd down turnarounds here in this drive that started back at their own 35. 48 seconds on the game clock. Seneca leading 28-21. Timeout on the field. Stoppage of play brought to you by Superior Metal. See Superior Metal for any of your roofing and storage shed needs. Superior Metal, Highway 76, south of Cassville.
We do have some final scores, Sammy, coming out. Trying to get them all together right now. Monette.
We were ahead to start, but as long as this game's dragging out, there's probably several going to be final by the time we get done. Monette has defeated Lamar 28-7. Another final, Hollister over McDonald County 20-6. And East Newton breaks the losing skid. They beat Nevada 35-8. The Patriots have been on a 20-plus game losing slide, but they end that skid tonight against Nevada. Here we go, 3rd down and 10. High snap to Bates, pulls it down, throws underneath. White makes the catch at the 36-yard line, fighting for extra yardage, and he is going to be swarmed under and stopped at the 34. And we've got a timeout. It's a gain of 8, and it'll bring up 4th and 2. So after all of this, as we're approaching 9:30, this game has come down to this play. 4th down and 2, 39 seconds left. Seneca leading 28-21.
Wildcats do have one timeout remaining. And again, don't count out the legs of the quarterback, Devin Bates. If he's able to look downfield, see an opening, he can get to the sideline and stop the clock after picking up a first down if possible.
Cassville with the ball at the 34-yard line of the Indians. After we've seen what Drake Reese can do, he's almost in field goal range already, but a field goal will not do it. It's got to be a touchdown. He's boomed a 43-yarder tonight. That would probably be good for 50 or more. But right now they need at least 2 yards. Seneca again with the 3-man front. Here we go. Bates up under center. Checks the D of the Indians, now gives it off to Kanan. Kanan powering off right tackle. Second effort, pushes forward to the 32, and this one's going to be very close. We'll see where the line judge comes in and the umpire and spots the football. The first down marker was leaning like it was going to start moving, and now the officials signal first down Cassville, so the drive remains alive.
Wildcats going to get on this ball and kill it right here.
We're down to 30 seconds left. First and 10, Cassville. And we've got movement, and flags fly once again.
Going to have some movement on the offensive line.
Got false start against Cassville. So that'll back it up to the 37. 26 seconds on the game clock. First and 15. And the clock is running once again. Twin receivers, right and left. And Bates spikes the football to stop the clock. 20 seconds here on the clock at Earl D. Campbell Stadium. Indians 28, Cassville 21.
Indians really rushing 3 right now, sending everybody else out in coverage. They've got 4 defensive backs back around the 25, between the 20 and 25-yard line. Got a couple linebackers a little in front of them, 3 linebackers.
5 receivers now for Cassville. 3 to the right, 2 to the left. Bates, pressure coming up the middle. He launches it to DJ White. White turns around, the ball is overthrown, and we've got a flag again. Imagine that. And with all the contact down there, you can't really immediately discern who this was against, because we've seen a little bit of everything tonight. Seneca saying that White pushed off. White saying that Seneca grabbed a hold, and it looks like they're going to say that DJ White pushed off. So the Wildcats suddenly going in the wrong direction once again. They had gotten the ball down to around the 30-yard line of the Indians, but now after the penalty, it's going to be moved all the way back into Cassville territory at the Wildcat 48.
Wildcats need a chunk play right here. They do have a timeout, so they can go to the middle of the field if they need to. But they need a chunk play right here so they can have a shot at the end zone on the final play.
So 14 seconds remaining. And the Wildcats from midfield down by 7. Bates under pressure again. The pass is underthrown. A couple of defenders there, and it's knocked down, incomplete. We've got a flag again. This one in the Cassville backfield as Devin Bates slow getting up, and he has taken a licking tonight.
Well, that's going to be the 4th roughing the passer call tonight. against the Indians on the Wildcat quarterback.
That's the 9th penalty against Seneca for 110 yards. Cassville has 9 penalties for 95 yards. I don't know whether I've seen it get lopsided one time here in recent years that you and I were doing, but I mean, so evenly distributed and such a high amount of penalties and yardage against both teams.
Evenly penalized. Doesn't make it any better.
No, it does not. So they move it back to the Seneca 36. And here we go again. 7 seconds remaining. It's the game that will not end.
And now the Wildcats will use their final timeout.
So the stoppage on the field. It's Cassville will try to draw something up here. 1st and 10 at the Seneca 36. This drive started at the Cassville 35. It's been all the way down inside the 30 at one point of the Indians, then back across midfield into Cassville territory. Now it's back at the 36 once again. This will be the 15th play of the drive coming up. Seneca on top, 28-21. And we still have 7 seconds left here in the 4th quarter.
Wildcat offensive line needs to give quarterback a little bit of time here, let his receivers get down the field. The Indians, for the most part, just rushing 3. We'll see if they bring a 4th here.
Both teams back and ready to go once again. Will this be the final play? We'll have to see. And we've got a flag. And we've got a 5-yard penalty against Cassville.
We got a receiver jumping, trying to get a head start.
So that'll move it back to the 41. Well, we joke about the penalty flags being laundry. They're definitely going to need washed after this game because they got a lot of grass stains on them. They've been on the ground all night long. Bates steps up and lets her fly. He's got a man open. It's Cooper, and the ball was thrown a little behind. No, check that. That was Ferris. And he makes the catch down at the 25. The ball was behind him, but he was able to correct himself and make a really nice catch for a first down. But now the Wildcats will not be able to get up to the line of scrimmage to stop the clock with only 6 seconds remaining, and that's the ball game. The Indians win it 28-21.
Tough ball game tonight. Give a lot of credit to the Indians, playing very physical. Did what they needed to do to win this football game tonight. Wildcats going to regroup and talk about some of the miscues tonight, but give a lot of credit to the Seneca Indians coming up with a big win for their program tonight.
Yeah, defensively, they really impressed tonight with
Sure
the way
did.
they were able to fly to the football and make the tackle when they got there, and that was what Cassville was having difficulty doing. They were getting guys to the point of the attack, but they couldn't bring down Trey Wilson tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's a big difference. You had one team that tackled very well. You had one team that didn't tackle well at all, and the Indians come out on top.
Boy, a big win for Seneca here tonight at home. They dropped that season opener to Springfield Catholic, but have now won 3 in a row as they defeat Cassville here tonight, 28-21, handing the Wildcats their first loss of the season. We will step aside and be back with the postgame. You're listening to Big 8 Conference Football here on the Talon Sports Network. first loss of the season. Seneca improves to 3-1. Cassville falls to 3-1. It was a 14-13 game at half. Seneca on top after a back-and-forth first 2 quarters of play. Both teams scored on their first possessions of the second half. Cassville capping off a nice drive with a 3-yard run by Zach Kanan. 2-point conversion was good, and the Wildcats led 21-14. But Seneca would counter with a lengthy drive of their own, a 39-yard pass from Lance Stevens to Preston Armstrong. 2-point conversion failed, and it was 21-20. Seneca with the lead once again. And then with 2:13 left to play, or actually, I correct myself there, Cassville with the lead by 1, 21-20, after that 2-point conversion attempt failed. And then with 2:13 left to go in the football game, a 10-play, 74-yard drive by the Indians, 1-yard run from Monty Males. 2-point conversion made it a 7-point lead, and that ended up being the final margin. Seneca 28, Cassville 21 here this evening from Earl D. Campbell Stadium as the Indians pick up the victory. We will hope to get a word with Coach Parnell before we get out of here tonight. A long night of football. The two teams combining for 19 penalties, and those were just the penalties that were accepted. There were a lot of flags thrown that did not get accepted and or marked off. So crazy night of football here in Seneca, and the Indians pick up the 28-21 victory. We'll take a break and be back with some of the numbers from tonight's football game, the team stats, and the individual numbers right after this. You're listening to Big 8 Football here on the Talon Network. Winner tonight, 28-21 over the Cassville Wildcats. Now joined here on the postgame by the head coach of Cassville, Coach Lance Parnell. Postgame interview brought to you by the law office of John A. Leewright. They proudly support the Wildcats, and they want everyone to remember, if you don't talk, you may walk, and to call 417-847-2177. That's 847-2177. Coach, for the second week in a row, the Wildcats involved in an old-fashioned head-knocking football game. Another very physical contest here tonight between Cassville and Seneca. And the Indians find a way to score late after both teams score early in the second half. A late fourth-quarter touchdown proves to be the difference in the ball game.
Yeah, it was a physical football game, just like we knew it would be coming over here. You know, proud of my kids, proud of their effort for 4 quarters. You know, tough one tonight. You know, tough for me to say. The more physical football team won the football game tonight, and that was Seneca.
Boy, the way it started out, both teams seemed to be scoring at will, and I thought we were going to have one of those games like last year where the two teams were going to combine for 90 points, but it quickly settled in the second quarter. Of course, penalties had a lot to do with that. Neither team was able to get into much of a rhythm and a flow, but then the defenses started taking over.
They did, you know, kind of thought the same thing early, you know, as they go down the field just gutting us. You know, we settled in, found a way to get some stops there. You know, be honest, I felt fortunate to only be down 1 at half, kind of with the way we played in the first half defensively. How we got some stops there, you know, I'm still kind of scratching my head, but you know, it just turned into being one of those classic Big 8 battles.
Yeah, Drake Reese was the big reason why you were there within the 1 point, because they had stalled your drives, but the leg of Reese was able to get a couple of field goals, one really long field goal of over 40 yards to keep you in the football game.
Yeah, you know, that was a big kick for us. You know, the first one's a little frustrating. Felt like we had the ball down there, first and goal inside the 5 and don't score. You know, that one stings a little bit. But, you know, like I said, just 2 big kicks by Drake kept us in the ball game there in the first half.
Second half, both teams come out and score right off the bat, and I'm thinking, here we go again. But then the defenses started taking over once again, and Seneca was able to put together a couple of drives where they were able to eat up a lot of clock, and that proved to be a difference the way the game turned out.
Yeah, it did. They hit us with a big pass play there on their first drive after, we take the opening drive down and score to take the lead, I believe. And, kid made a good play. We've done that in the secondary a little bit this year. Had a couple busted coverages the last few weeks, and that one turned out to bite us in the butt.
Defensively, Seneca was able to come up with a couple of big stops, and they were able to kind of control the running game to a certain extent. But I tell you, Zach Kanan, what a job he did tonight carrying the football for you. He took a lot of punishment and was able to hang on to the football and kept bouncing it back up and going at it again.
Definitely. He's a tough physical kid. Doesn't come off the field offensively or defensively, played every snap defensively, and I'm not sure if he came off offensively. He runs so stinking hard, and we knew it was going to be a physical game this week. We knew we'd have to have a bruiser in there, and I don't know how many carries he had tonight, but he toted it a ton, and he's a tough kid.
On the other side, they had the 1-2 punch of Males and Wilson going. They had the speed of Males and the power of Wilson, and that Trey Wilson, he was a load to try to bring down tonight.
Yes, he was. I'm still not sure if we've tackled him at times. We talked all week about how he was a physical running back, and we would have to tackle him low. And I guess I didn't do a good enough job getting that across to our kids and teaching that this week, because we thought maybe we should try to tackle him high, and that didn't work out too well for us in the first half.
Passing game tried to pick things up in the second half, and for the most part at times it was doing really well. You were finding DJ White. He had another nice night, over 100 yards receiving, and you were spreading the ball around. Preddy had a couple of catches. Ferris had one. Kanan had one.
Yeah, we know we have the ability to throw the ball. We don't like to be in the situation we were here in the second half, especially late, where we have to throw it because we're not being able to run it. But, we do have some kids that can do some things with it, and Devin does a nice job. I thought he played a heck of a ball game tonight. He got the snot beat out of him.
Yeah, he took some punishment tonight as well.
Yeah, yes, a lot of interesting punishment too. I'm really proud of him and the way he stayed in there and continued to battle and continued to deliver the ball and give us an opportunity to win.
Well, you go back home next week, take on the East Newton Patriots, and prepare for them, and they pick up their first win of the season tonight and break that losing skid.
They do, and I'm really happy for Coach Wood, and the Patriots. That's a big first win, and if you look at it, they very easily could be 4-0. They've had a fourth quarter lead in all three of their first three games, and just weren't able to pull it out. So Kyle's going to do a great job at East Newton. He's already off to a good start there, and it'll be a challenge for us at home next week.
And they've got a lot of the familiar names and faces back from last year that put up a lot of their offensive numbers. Live Oak's still there. The Stewart boys are still there. There's a Millet still there. Those are the guys they rely on to pick up the yards. But they had some moving around on the offensive and defensive fronts. But so far, those guys are filling in and doing the job, it seems like.
Yeah, like I said, it's all new staff there. Very familiar with Coach Wood, works very hard at it. They're going to be fundamentally sound and well coached defensively, and sounds like they're getting out. I think they put 35 points up tonight, so scoring some points offensively. So we step right back into another challenge next week.
Big A football week after week. It's a tough one, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Well, we know you got a long trip back, so we'll let you go and get with your kids and get on out of here. We appreciate your time as always, and we look forward to catching up with you next week.
Thanks a lot, Sammy. I sure appreciate it. I want to say thanks to all of our fans for coming, and hope you guys have a safe trip home. See you next week.
Coach Lance Parnell joining us here on the Postgame Show, brought to you by the law office of John A. Leewright. Their professional personnel believe in your rights to a fair hearing and represent you with the utmost expertise, integrity, and excellence. Phone 847-2177. We'll take another break. Be back to wrap things up here from Seneca. from the football game. First of all, for the Seneca Indians, they carried the ball 37 times for 209 yards, completed 5 of 11 passes for 108 yards for a total of 317 yards of offense. They picked up 14 first downs, had 1 turnover on an interception. They were penalized 9 times for 110 yards, and they punted 3 times for a 39-yard average. Cassville, 37 carries for 117 yards on the ground. They were 11 of 22 through the air for 175 for a total of 292 yards. Wildcats picked up 16 first downs. They did not turn the ball over. They were penalized 10 times for 100 yards. That's right, folks. 19 penalties for a total of 210 yards, and that was just the ones that were accepted and marked off. There was other flags thrown that didn't get marked off here tonight, so a crazy night here at Seneca. The Wildcats had to punt 6 times for 38-yard average. The Indians were led by Trey Wilson, 105 yards on 15 carries and a touchdown. Monty Males had 83 yards unofficially and a touchdown on 14 carries. Dathan Long had 3 catches for 59 yards and a touchdown. And it was Preston Armstrong with 2 catches for 49 yards and a score. For Cassville, Zach Kanan, the leading ball carrier, 81 yards on 20 carries and a touchdown. And DJ White had 110 yards receiving on 7 catches. Bowen Preddy had 2 catches for 40 yards. Jericho Ferris had a catch for 16 yards. DJ White also had 2 carries on the night for 10 yards, so 120 yards of offense for DJ White here this evening. Time for our post-game awards. We'll start off with our Wildcat Player of the Game, brought to you by Fast Trip, 104 South Main in Cassville. Great prices and friendly service is what you'll find at Fast Trip. Stop by today. Locally owned by Mike and Anita Carr. And our Wildcat Player of the Game is number 23, Zach Kanan. Had a hard night of running, 81 yards unofficially on 20 carries and a touchdown. And he took a licking and just kept on ticking, plugging away. Took a lot of punishment tonight, but he was able to bounce back up. And as Coach Parnell said, hardly ever left the field as he was playing linebacker all night as well for the Wildcats. He also had a catch on the night for 9 yards. Zach Kanan, our Wildcat Player of the Game.
Yeah, tough kid, tough game out here tonight. Just all over the field. Did a really good job.
With all the hitting that was going on tonight, we had several people to choose from for our hard hit of the night, as Kanan was in the hat for one of those, along with Bowen Preddy. But when it was all said and done, that first quarter hit by DJ White stood out a little bit more. And our hard hit of the night, brought to you by B&K Auto Body, where fixing hard hits is their specialty. They use a Blackhawk frame and rack measurement system. Free computerized estimates. B&K Auto Body works with all major insurances. Phone 847-3990. DJ White, our hard hit of the night.
Yeah, we usually think of DJ, winning offensive awards out here, but does play on the defensive side and does a good job tonight. Came up, had a good lick.
Again, the hard hit of the night brought to you by B&K Auto Body. They offer you car rental, 24-hour towing, certified technicians when your vehicle has been smashed by a hard hit. They offer pre-computerized estimates at B&K Auto Body, 847-3990. All right, looking at the other finals around the Big 8, they've all gone final now. Monette beats Lamar 28-7. It's Rogersville coming from behind and knocking off Aurora 21-18. Mount Vernon shuts out Reed Spring 30-0. Springfield Catholic in a high-scoring game holds off Marshfield 38-28. Hollister defeats McDonald County 20-6, and the East Newton Patriots pick up their first win in nearly 3 years as they beat Nevada 35-8, and that's the next opponent for the Wildcats next Friday night at Wildcat Stadium.
Well, the thing about East Newton is they could pretty easily be 4-0 right now.
Yeah, they lost in the last minute and a half to Hollister in the week 1. They took the lead over Aurora in week 2 with about 8 minutes left, and then Aurora answered with about 4 minutes left in the game to win that one. And then last week against McDonald County, they lose on what was basically the last play of the game.
Right. So, they do some things right, and, they'll be well coached, and they'll compete. So the Wildcats need to shake this one off and prepare this week and go take care of business.
Yeah, back at home, that will help as well, although there was a great group of Cassville fans who made the trip over.
Yeah, Cassville fans traveled really well, and boy, especially on the interception by Cooper down here, you could really hear that Cassville sideline really roar, and it's a neat thing to see.
Wildcats will be looking forward to getting back home next Friday night to take on East Newton in the Big 8 West matchup. Well, we'd like to thank the folks here at Seneca for all the hospitality tonight, Athletic Director Tom Hodge and all of his staff, folks here in the press box for helping us out. We appreciate all of that. Tight quarters down here at Seneca, but they always find a place to squeeze us in, and we do appreciate that very, very much. We appreciate Coach Parnell for coming up and visiting with us after tonight's game, as we always appreciate his time before and after the football games here on our broadcast. Thanks to all of our sponsors for helping support us here this evening on the road in Seneca. Without the help of our sponsors, these broadcasts would not be possible. Stop by and let these folks know that you appreciate their support of the games here on the Talent Network in Cassville High School Athletics. Appreciate Dwayne and Janet getting things rolling every Friday night back at the stations in Monette, making sure we're all up and running on the airwaves with our 3 broadcasts, and we appreciate their help. And thanks to Todd for, once again, battling through the tough conditions here tonight in the corner as we had him. He wasn't being punished tonight. He just got stuck in the corner. I know I had some Cassville fans tell me before the game, what's Todd over there in the corner for? And I said, well, that's the only spot they've got for him. But he manages to get the job done each and every Friday night. We appreciate him as well on Cassville WebTV, and he'll be back with us next week, as will Jeremy and myself for the broadcast from Wildcat Stadium. Our final score here tonight, Seneca wins over Cassville 28-21, dropping the Wildcats to 3-1. Seneca improves to 3-1 on the year, and the Wildcats at home next Friday against East Newton. We hope you join us for the broadcast. Speaking for Todd and Jeremy, this is Sammy Clapper saying thanks for joining us here this evening, and good night from Earl D. Campbell Stadium.